I goofed and didn't use my hero point last time. I wanted to keep the dog as our pet.
That's
Interesting.
well. First of all, not a dog, ice wolf.
Whatever the fuck it was.
Also, I think it's interesting that your two main actions in Brannick's house thus far, Castle's house, have been fucking one, I shoot this bitch, and two, I take his dog.
Like the little girl's dog. What happened to my puppy?
He literally just took her pet.
He's dark as shit, man. He raised that ice wolf from a pup ever since the start of the game. Ooh. Okay.
There's also nothing playing right now.
Well, you guys let me know when the stream is up and when you're ready for music, and I will play us in. Also, guys, thank you for allowing me to take the week off. It was necessary. There was a couple of comments sent to the Say At Me that sort of expressed their displeasure for missing a week. But the reality is it was just sort of necessary for my continued health. So thank you for being understanding.
Cool.
Those comments were in jest.
I mean, they were anonymous. They could have been from anybody. But thank you, Kaz, for letting me know that you're pretty sure whoever sent them was joking.
Yeah, so, we should get back to game because like when we missed 2 weeks, I started buying a bunch of shit on Amazon to like occupy me. Mm-hmm. This time I bought an ale horn, which you'll see.
Oh my, that's fantastic. Benji, are you good for music?
I'm good for music test.
Or Wild, are you recording? Are you good?
No, I'm. I heard. Wait, I saw Benji talk, but he didn't come through on Discord.
Oh, here we go.
No, I forgot. Okay, my streaming mic is different than I've got to fix my Discord mic. That's
your fucking setup from a nightmare.
It's necessary. It's not actually.
Why
a
would
nightmare.
you do this to yourself?
I've just overcomplicated it. Is what I've done. I've got to simplify. I got to sit down and simplify it.
I'm sure Ash could tell you a $600 thing that you could purchase to do it for you.
All right, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
All right,
did you switch like 3 audio cables just now?
No, just audio inputs in Discord because Discord doesn't work. Honestly, I just need to sit down and like take some time and fix it, and I just don't want to. So
it's one of those. I get your feeling. It's just a weary feeling.
Yeah, I'm tired of fixing shit.
You just kind of let it go just because.
Because reasons. Yeah.
I wish I knew that feeling. After this game, we'll be going back to modern Skyrim. Benji, you good for music?
I'm good for music test, yes.
All right, here we go. You guys fucking know the theme song? Oh, it's a little jazzy today.
It's working on your stream, by the way.
Oh, good.
We just can't hear Wild talk.
I mean, who listens anyways?
Sooner or later, the dice land on the table. You know that's what fables are made of. Oh yeah, it's a critical hit. Everybody sing, oh yeah, it's a critical hit. This is a critical hit. Oh yeah, it's a critical hit. Everybody sing, oh yeah, it's a critical hit. It's critical.
Geomancy Award this week is Zect, not only for the cosplay, which was also referred to as cross-dressing and drag, and that was also applauded by basically everybody for his dedication and style, but also, which I thought was really interesting, I had a couple people say that even though Shay said relatively little, she was one of the most actionable people, and players felt like they learned the most about Shay in those few precious and very impactful moments. So congratulations to the Z-Man. Have a card.
Hey,
well, what do we got?
Card time.
So did you change the avatar position, Steel?
I did not.
Or is that just a setting on mine?
We're about to find
That's
out.
seven.
Benji broke another thing.
Oh no,
I
okay.
don't-
I guess that's an individual setting. Never mind.
Yeah, I don't know how you got those up there. I thought that was weird.
Also, you guys might not have the ability anymore to steal cards from other players. I think I fixed.
Nope, it still shows up.
God damn it! All right.
I'm trying to steal Zex right now.
Oh, I'm gonna say no way.
Oh, that's a bummer. Denied. Then it says denied. That's fantastic.
But yeah, overall, there was a lot of people who mentioned the last game was the hardest one to decide on because there was a lot of great moments from all of the characters. From Saigar. God, you know what? He did so many things last game session, but the one that really stands out, at least for me, was when he returned Castlin's medal from when y'all were kids. I can't really think of anything else that would be really noteworthy. And then to Erie's
Almost
like
killing her
25 word like message limit, which was fucking hashtag worth it. Obviously Morgane and Warren sparring. I think it was really only the leather pants that pushed Zect into the kind of the clear winner, which is I think a lesson we should all learn. And isn't that what D&D is really all about?
Leather pants.
Leather
Yeah.
pants.
Leather pants.
Oh, that was so bad, dude. Like I was dying at the end of that.
So before we dive into our brief session recap, and it will be very brief because again, I have not written basically anything for today. I wanted to pose everybody a character question. This is something I'm going to do fairly frequently. It's partly to get us into the habit of getting into character thoughts. The second half of this game onward, we're going to start doing something unique at the start and end of every game session. So I'm just kind of getting people into the habit of it, just being a different rhythm than just like game starts, recap, go. So I'm going to basically just a very simple question where it's going to range from yes or no, no answers to sometimes it's going to be a little bit more complex than that. Basically just a question about your character to give you and your adventuring buds something to think about and kind of chew on. So for today's question, which is again going to be just a fucking super easy yes or no question. You don't have to elaborate on it at all. One word answers. If you would like to, it is inspired by your time with the Brannocks. I am just going to ask each person, starting with Warren, because he's not going to have to fucking think about it. He already knows the answer, unlike some of you. So the question is, starting with Wild and Warren, has your character said, "I love you" to anyone or anything in the last year?
The last year? Sorry, you cut off.
Last year, yes.
No.
Yuri?
No.
Morgane?
No.
Kyvius?
No.
Saigar?
Nope.
Jay?
Yes.
Good question.
So after the death of Mother Dearest at Shay's hands, a peaceful uncertainty had kind of fallen over the group as they spent a few long lounging days at the Brannock household. If it's a little loud, again, just feel free to go ahead and adjust. I'm going to... There we go. And it had been revealed the real reason that you've been brought back together was because Kiovasan, who, after having faked her own death to avoid returning to active military duty when the 10-year peace treaty kind of came to an end, Kiovasan had recommended you six personally for an expedition. And you had met the mysterious benefactor who had traveled to the city that was once known as Dawnbury, where this benefactor was going to provide full details of the expedition personally. And you discovered that this person was none other than the disgraced king of High Helm, King Yolas Ashtung IV. And his tone was one of desperation, as he had sort of spoken about the plan that he and his former Archmage had concocted over the years. He had funneled the city's military budget towards a wild plan to teleport, or rather to transpose, the entire city and all of its inhabitants off the island of Rio. And when the people of High Helm learned about this, and control of the treasury was seized almost immediately, there was a power shift. It saw a former elven general kind of favored by the people, raised as a leader instead. Javi was basically exiled from the city. The king was declared senile, dangerously unfit to rule, but neither of them has really given up on this play. Javi is confident that he can get about half of the entire city, not off of the island, unfortunately, not enough time for that, but to a safe place beyond the reach of the Ka, while they continue to plan their next move. And luckily, word had reached their ears that such a safe place existed, because before you had come to a decision, Iolus had requested you speak directly to the individual that they referred to as simply the Prophet. And this person claimed there was a promised land beyond the mountains to the far west. It was a journey that is probably going to have to be undertaken mostly on foot across the archways and then into Port Irongast. From there, you'd be taking a ship to Epitaph, and then a port in the Ka would await you. And basically ending with a half-month trek through the occupied desert, which is going to be dangerous, certainly, but much less dangerous than if the place that the Prophet is referring to simply doesn't exist. A location that was stated as being named the Stair of Penance. And so, with the king's knees creaking, he had sent the Princess Therica to lead you outside the city to where the Prophet is going to be waiting for you for this fateful meeting. And she flutters at the head of your party like a colorful silk blanket, just kind of dancing in the wind, while the rest of you march tight-knit, shoulder to shoulder, wondering how today would inevitably wind up becoming dangerous. This is a trip that would take months, maybe for nothing. Perhaps some of you are thinking about the people you would have to abandon. Others of you are musing over the possibility of just sort of seeing distant lands. Others still trying to assess how feasible any part of the king's plan actually fucking is. And regardless of your thoughts on Javi, there's really no denying that his approach to magic is chaotic and unpredictable at best. And there's just far too many things that could go wrong when you're playing with countless lives like the way that he's doing, where the plan is to mass shift an entire populace of people. And then things had raised even further questions when the king said that he would tell you about the casino and the royal crypts that you would be robbing when you came back after meeting the Prophet. So that's where we're going to begin today. You guys are moving through the streets of the city that's not Donbury, and you're moving in silence for a few moments until one of you eventually breaks the quiet, and your voices are low enough that the many Ka soldiers can't overhear. Sometimes you've got to stop even talking mid-sentence while one of them, the Ka soldiers, passes, and then you pick up mid-beat. And when we pick up today's game, there's a group of kids, some of them who have rescued, that are out in front of a building nearby where they are playing some kind of rhythm game that involves clapping and jumping to a beat, not that much different than hopscotch. And you can hear the child song that I don't know who is speaking when we start today's game, but they have to pause because the song of the children is loud enough that it drowns out your very quiet voices, and you hear the children again clapping together as they say, "Arna, Arna, Batusa Von, Ulem Orum, Lante Lam, Memnon, Memnon, can you see? Will the Etchmen come for me?" And then they repeat this a few times as the song continues. And you guys begin to move out of the city. Who was it that spoke first?
Probably me. Leaning over. I'm not crazy, right? Those are the same models from all those years ago. They look almost the same. It's sort of creepy. The forged, I mean.
God never really sorry. God never really saw to improve on it. It works.
I like to imagine Morgaine like coughs a bunch of sand out of your grill.
What? How come you are so different then?
Choice mostly.
Oh,
Is it through some kind of modification, or is it, can you alter your body, question mark, at will?
No, most of this was sort of through works, and Karna wanted me to look a bit different as well.
Understandable.
Could the Sarokian take over your body?
Yes,
As
that
I'm
is a
kind of
good question.
eating while I'm saying this because Sagar's hungry and he's chewing some chicken wings.
Oh man, fucking real Foley work. I love it.
He's a method role player.
Pretty soon, every single person in the world is going to be eating zucchini simultaneously. So, like, let's fucking get it.
He's never done it, and I don't know if he could.
I don't think so. He always talked about being in control of everything at one time, you know? Those others don't really seem like they got free will.
Oh, that is excellent observation. Yeah, because they would move like synchronously.
They always responded to only like specific things too. It's
Some of them
eerie.
appeared kind of almost dead.
Yeah.
So what exactly was this kind of body of yours? Is it some kind of like prototype or something?
I think, I don't know. It's what I have. It's what I've been getting used to, but what it is, I don't know. I just sort of awoke in it.
At this point in time, Therica pipes up. Who even knows with magic, though? Like, check this out. And she sort of escorts you over to one of the side buildings really quickly, where you can see that the building on the left-hand side of the road that you guys are traveling down, it's almost built like a little shrine. And inside you can see it's almost a church-like in its nature. But in the middle, there is a huge stone that's just been torn down, much like when you guys saw the statue of Kiovasan when you were kids, in that brief moment being torn down from the spot it was located in the city. And she has to raise her voice a little bit because there's quite a few birds in this area that are large desert creatures with like serpentine-like tails, that are pecking at the wood tables, just looking for scraps in the city, and are chirping to each other extremely loudly. And she goes, this building right here used to be the Foundling stone inside here. You guys know what those are, right?
Of course.
Certainly. But could you just, describe it for everyone who may not know what they are?
Could we get some PlayStation 1 exposition, please?
She
We're
fucking...
asking
What's
for
a
friend?
PlayStation
Asking for
1
a friend.
exposition? What is this term? I
So,
love
sorry,
it.
early RPG. Could you explain to the audience?
What's a
Yeah,
PlayStation?
she rolls her eyes dramatically, the only way that like a fucking 20-year-old teenage girl kind of can. And so it's like what consecrates the ground that people build on, apparently. So like ever since the curse, the one that is affecting everything, the royal family's always been taught that the only thing that keeps Highhelm and like all the smaller little cities standing is this ritual that we do, right? Where you have to do it before the very first post is buried, or the flag is planted, or the first stone of building is placed, or whatever. It doesn't even work. It's like a ritual that's done by all the people in charge of the city as like a whole. It's kind of where Javi got the idea for these group rituals he's been working on to begin with. Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it works or not, but it definitely is what holds back the blood of the Ka, like that's for sure. And that's why they tear it down whenever they conquer a city. And they keep away like the creatures in the darkness and stuff. And plus it's where all the energy comes from. It makes like a magic ley line or whatever in the city that lets us run like lightnings to runes. It pumps water, it turns mills, all that stuff. But like nobody knows how it works or anything. It just kind of does.
The curse that she's referring to is the curse after the goddess of civilization died. Is that correct?
Mhm.
Yeah, Erith's death has led to this belief that no city is permanent.
No city's what? Sorry.
Is permanent. Every city falls. War is eternal. There's no escaping this cycle of impermanence where every civilization is doomed.
Yeah. They're fascinating things. I can't believe nobody's figured out what they do in all this time. So much reliance on them, you know?
Well, we also haven't seen one fall like in our lifetime, you know?
Well,
And
I mean, fall. What do you mean? What exactly do you mean by fall? Because
She looks back at you and goes, well, they're chunks of like sky rock. Some people call them the sun bleed, or like,
you mean the stone?
Ioun's
Okay.
Yeah. The Foundling stones, they sort of fall. And it happens when somebody really great dies. And I don't know if you've noticed, but there haven't been a lot of really great anyone's in these last few years. I mean, probably when Kyo bites it, we're gonna get a huge one because she's great. And hopefully it smashes one of those desert city carrion super lizards right in his building-sized head. And then she mimes it by just being like, blah, and falls over face first into the sand and just lies there unconscious / dead for like way too long for the joke.
Are you okay?
She just like does not respond. She's like very clearly dead. She turns her face to the side and kind of like spits out some sand. Eyes still closed.
Are you reenacting how the goddess died?
I'm methoding, she says, and then she gets up and brushes her dress off, and then says in all capital letters, "Do you understand, or would you like me to repeat?" Yes.
I hit A too fast. I hit A too fast. I hit yes by mistake.
There are tons of Skyrock. Now I haven't seen one fall in my lifetime.
All right, and the geomancy card goes to steal this game.
How would that even work?
I think Kyo Boston would be tickled to find out that her death killed someone else. Let's hope that's how it goes.
She sort of shrugs a little bit and she's like, I don't know, man. She got weird after she got a kid.
She was always weird.
Right?
If High Helm hadn't lined up with the things she believed in, she'd have been killing all of you guys instead of Carl. She's always been weird.
Erica looks at you and be like, okay, so real talk. So that kid, like, it's like half dwarf, half tiefling, right? Like, I get the little nubs, you can see the horns a little bit, right? But like, what is the dwarf half? Is she just gonna be tiny forever, like a tiny little tiefling person? Because that's weird, man.
That's an excellent question. She could actually be like 30 years old.
You cut off.
You cut out.
Of course I did.
She could actually be.
I said that's weird. She could actually be like 30 years old.
Well,
There are guards stationed everywhere, including the exit, and she makes a big show of being like, yo, and like tosses a little head salute at a way that really indicates that she has no idea who this person is, but just a very flippant like lack of respect is given. And you guys start making your way sort of north from the city, and it's not an eventful trip because everything in the Ka looks the same. It's mostly desert. There are some parts that are a little bit unusual. There are these huge prickly cactus bushes that are abnormal in size that kind of dot the land. Most of the fauna here is either dead or it's twisted. It's the stuff that's brought about by the deserts of the Ka that is, not only does the ground simply become draped in sand, but the corrupt plants that emerge from it are usually like barbed and they remind you of some harsh alien reality. There's even just spots where they're big plated spikes that just jut up through the surface, seemingly at random, and it's really hard to tell even if they're just like plate or plants or not.
ooh.
I'm sorry, can I just to rewatch, because I was restarting Discord, but a thought came into my head.
Yeah.
Did she say that the Foundling stone here was still intact?
No, it had been destroyed.
It had been destroyed. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
the Ka, whenever they
That
take
was
over.
that was why. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Thank you.
Do we know who killed the goddess or how she died, or is this still all myth and fable still?
So it's a lot of myth and fable. Nobody knows the details. It depends on kind of the where you got the information. Go ahead and roll either religion or history for me. It's your
You want me to?
Yeah, or Arcana, any of those three.
Give me a second.
Our religion rolls are strongest for this group.
Religion is absolutely your best bet. And it will be difficulty either 13 or kind of 20, depending on what we're rolling.
Sorry, what were the three? Religion, history, or Arcana, right?
Correct.
I guess it doesn't really matter for me. Okay, let me do this.
Oh, that was the difficulty 13. Yeah, no, you don't really know. There's a lot of people. Like there's a big giant cathedral in Highhelm where you, of course, are from initially. That is referred to as the Church of the Many, where they kind of worship all the gods simultaneously, and they believe there that that it was some other nation. It wasn't human. It was probably like some tiefling or some Shatterkai or something, one of the lower races, that jealous of what the gods had built and what they had done is when the gods had gathered to witness and just sort of just nod appreciatively at what the humans had wrought on the island of Rios as they descended down onto this beautiful island when the first settlers had arrived here. Some fucking asshole by the name of Norai of the Red Spear stabbed Erithis in the heart with a spear, and she died. And that is the only thing that most people are aware of, that this is a factual statement. And you know that who Norai is something that is debated heavily amongst different factions. And it basically serves just as a way for people to be vaguely general racist towards whatever group or nation they don't like.
So is that so? That figure is that because my understanding is that every kind of civilization had a different story of how Erithis died, but does everybody agree on the role and character of Norithis?
Everybody knows it was Erithis that died. Everybody knows that it was somebody by the name of Norai that killed.
Norai, sorry.
Right. People describe the red spear as being a physical spear. Some places refer to it as like a blast of like disintegration magic. The gender of Norai changes in the stories, although typically it's a masculine name. It could go either.
Is there any evidence of said thing? Like, sometimes an old god's remains might still remain around, right?
Technically, we've seen monsters that have been infused with her blood.
Right, but like, it was her, like, wherever this happened. Is there any kind of legacy to it there, like a monument? Is there something that represents what happened there? Is it all still just history?
This is something that I imagine that you are musing aloud, and Eerie or Warren or even Shay could tell you.
Yeah, I'm kind of musing it out loud.
Well,
Which thing?
we're traveling through Epitaph if we go on this whole journey, so there's a place up there that's sort of like a monument to it. What happened? It's hard to really describe.
Is it almost like a temple?
It's more than that. It's like there's not that much all special like about the location, but you ever been affected by like you ever been hit with some sort of magic that makes you believe stuff? Like
not personally, no.
All right.
I mean,
Well,
if it happened to me, I wouldn't know, right?
you know how the sky is blue?
Sure, yes.
Mm-hmm. If you go there, you believe that Epithis was killed by Norai of the Red Spear. You believe that Erithis, was killed by Norai of the Red Spear in the same way that you know the sky is blue. It becomes very obvious. Like, anybody should know that.
Would you say there's a magical element there that's causing that to happen, or is it just the circumstances?
It sounds like genius loci.
I don't know if
Holy fuck, Benji, I just spit on my fucking drink.
What? Why?
Oh my god.
What? What did I say?
No, nothing. Oh, goodness.
That was random.
I haven't looked into it. I didn't spend much of my time there doing that, but you can talk to probably any local and they tell you all about it.
Did you spit out your drink because you were laughing, or because of or because you recognized the word that I used?
Genius loci is a thing in D&D that I don't think you know what the fuck it is.
Oh no! I guess I should have said it in my voice. Not Kybius is. Okay, interesting. What is it in D&D?
Let's not talk about that right now.
Okay.
Chicken Hut.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Rain is fucking Googling it frantically.
Oh, Rain already knows.
Oh yeah.
It's a cool place.
So, just last question then, Warren. Since you know so much about this, question for you then: should we be? Is it rude if we don't bring some kind of offering or something to this monument? Is,
That
is
is
there some kind of ritual or custom we should be aware of?
That's a good question.
There's no ritual. In fact, most of the locals treat it very casually. Epitaph, if you'd been to Epitaph, you wouldn't ask if there was a ritual because it's a really different place for most. You can offer something if you like, but it's really been sort of. It's not like a holy ground. It's more like it's like accepted history, you know, like
Like a
it's
living
just
museum,
common.
perhaps.
Sort of.
Epitaph's a pretty alright place.
It's my favorite place. I miss it a little bit.
Eh.
I mean, we did different things there.
I kind of give like Warren like a real hard like elbow in the rib.
Well, I mean, if you're trying to live a normal life, wouldn't recommend it. If you're trying to live a exciting life, I'd recommend it.
Eventually, like as you guys continue to travel, it's about a good 20-minute walk. You're a ways away from the city, but you can still see over your shoulder where where Donbury is in the distance. You're still probably a good half mile from where the sand is going to become just regular fauna. But even from this distance, whenever you crest a hill, you can see it's almost like a hard line where you can almost see where the sands kind of stop and gives way immediately to greenery. It's a very surreal thing to watch because it's unlike anything else you've ever seen. It's almost like water hitting land where it just kind of cuts and weaves its way across the island. And as you, I love how fucking Shay moves forward for fucking preparing for combat. And as you guys get a little bit closer and you kind of start climbing a hill, there's valleys and stuff, and you can see there's, again, just animal corpses half buried in the mud, just the weird fauna everywhere. Therica clears her voice as she falls back a little bit and goes, okay, so we're here. If it's all the same to you, I kind of don't want to go in there. And she points over a nearby mound of, God, you don't know what it is. It looks nasty as fuck, though. And there you can see that there is a muddy opening prized into basically a stone shape on the no less than like 30 or 40 paces away from you.
Kind of like a cave?
Very much like a cave.
Why don't you want to come with?
It's extremely nasty in there, and the prophet's not really my kind of like, nothing against him. I mean, you're the chosen ones, right? And she's sort of like smiles at her own joke.
I mean, I
The
think that
third
remains to
row.
be seen. The third what?
The third chosen ones.
Yeah, third or fourth. I have lost count.
Therica,
Right.
what should we prepare for this prophet? What should we expect?
To have it repeat things a couple of times, she says.
If I scan like
Right.
the horizon or general, is there any wildlife around here?
Nothing whatsoever. Big difference that you're noticing is that there is, yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. There is very distinctly fucking absolutely no bird sounds, even though the city was full of them. As you got further and further out, this particular location is totally dead of wildlife. Even like a cursory glance to like insects and stuff, nothing. There is some long dead creature that is sort of draped over the opening, but without a skill check, you would be able to identify what kind of creature it actually was. And you can kind of see there's also, again, yet another one of the sort of statues that litters this place that has been shattered with like the base is basically not even legible.
Would you say even like the grass is dead here?
No, there's quite a bit of fauna. But again, it all tends to be, as you can sort of tell from the map itself, a lot of it tends to be the weird alien fauna of the Ka.
Yeah.
It's nothing you would really want to, like, grow in a garden.
Could I do a
Roll.
nature check to see what that creature is?
No, but you could roll a dungeoneering check if you got a closer look at it.
Okay, I'd like to do that, please.
Sure. You'd have to get up there and fucking mess with it a little bit. Is that okay with you?
Up here?
Yeah.
I'll go with Sagar.
Friends, Shay, come with me. Let's go and take a look at this.
And just before we leave, I'll look back at Therica?
Here comes my nat one again.
Therica.
Therica, and be
No.
like, well,
I'll
as
throw out
long
some
as you're
good-
fine out here, call us if you need us.
I'm not going anywhere.
Yes, don't go too far.
Oh,
What's
okay.
the skill check on this?
It's difficulty 13. Shay got it.
I seem to be okay.
Oh god, yeah, you guys fucking nailed it. Immediately, Yuri just falls asleep from the fucking rubble. I like
Here we
how
go.
I like how it looks like Shay is standing on Sagar's head. That's my new fucking canon. That's what that is right there.
Oi, Saga, give me a boost up.
Here we go. Cheerio.
You both are able to identify it as a basilisk. They are horned and winged cousins of black dragons. They used to be so obese that they would drag their scaled, bloated midsections along the ground with four big, powerful. And they usually grew to be about 40 feet long. They could breathe laser-like light, the way that other dragons could breathe fire or cold. And their eyes would shine with that same kind of neon gleam. And it is said that their gaze could turn somebody from flesh to stone permanently. And they retreated from civilized lands a long time ago. They were thought to be nearly extinct, but there was a recent report from Epitaph claiming that that was in fact not the case because they had a single basilisk appear. And the report also noted that they seemed vulnerable to, and this was in quotes, bursts of arcane starlight and reality becoming scrambled.
So I'm gonna be like, it's a basilisk, and then I'm gonna kind of do that thing where you squint the eyes, kind of think for a second, and then I'm just gonna look over my shoulder at Warren.
Right. So.
Could we steal a basilisk fang?
They're actually lodged as part of the skull itself. If you had like a hammer or something
I have a hammer.
if you wanted to take some time to fucking chisel out a basilisk tooth, we could definitely do that.
I didn't know they could get so big.
You know, I turned to Eerie a little bit. The thing about the one that we thought was, it was little, I mean, he was big, but he didn't have all the same features, you know. I was really disappointed when this whole thing manifested, and I showed a little bit of the green eye, just a tiny, and it wasn't, you know, I couldn't turn things to stone. It was disappointing.
Warren, was the one you killed as big as this bugger here?
I look at Eerie. It's hard to tell when you're so used to bigger creatures. He looks
We should take its fangs.
Shay,
Looks a lot more
you should use your skills to rip out a few of the fangs. Chisel them out.
Oh, I got a hammer right here. What am I rolling?
You know what? God damn, I feel like fucking Crash might actually be the best role in this case. I hate to say, I feel like that's what it is. But it's gonna be fucking difficulty 20, son.
Oh, come on! After he rolled.
No, I didn't see it. Fucking that's what the hard DC is. At fucking 20.
There's a chart. There's
Yeah,
a chart
no.
of pre-made DCs.
And no, I'm sorry. It's 9, 13, or 20. The same as I was like, yeah, the DC for your religion check is 13 or 20. No, son. Unfortunately, yeah, you fucking get Sagar up there, and there's like, you know, chink, 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 and then there's like a crack, and you just feel like one of them just crumbles down into dust. And that was like the last good
Bugger.
fang on this.
I fucked up.
Shay, my friend, you fucked.
It's all right. I mean, can I? But
I mean, why
said
would you go? Why would you go pillaging monster parts and repurposing them for other things anyway?
Kyvius, listen. I've heard that the basilisk
Why-
fang contains
why-
poison, even in a dormant fashion.
My love,
We could use
Saiga,
that
that,
to-
was extreme sarcasm. I was looking at Warren.
Oh. Listen. Sarcasm. I do not possess a sarcasm detector.
Ah, all right. Well, listen. Before the end of this journey, we're going to teach you.
I
I know,
look
princess.
I look to the princess and I say, magic is weird, right?
A bit weird.
So, about these their ruins.
Yes. What do we have on this? It looks like some kind of crack-stained table.
Yeah, it's the base of a statue. Again, you could make
Base
maybe a
of a statue.
perception check to sort of read it, but again,
Absolutely.
it's gonna be super difficult. It's at difficulty 20 again.
Perception?
Perception, yeah.
It's not my best, but I'll give it a whirl.
God, you guys are sucking today.
Wait, I got it.
Do you?
I'm not even gonna try.
No, I don't.
Bummer.
I'm gonna try.
It's okay, because Cavius was aiding me. I get a +2, right?
Cavius is rolling for himself.
Oh wait. Oh, sorry.
None
I
of
didn't.
us-
I didn't
none of
hear.
us can read.
Yes, I'm aiding. No. Ignore my roll.
Sorry, my machine's just locking up here. 1 second.
That's okay. So, you
tried to-
guys,
Yay!
you guys spend a little bit of time on it, but you're not able to understand the nuances of. Oh wait, fuck that Saigar. God
Yeah.
damn it!
Yeah. I am able to understand the nuances of this.
It is an homage to King Yolas Ashtung III, who was the young king, better known as the Conqueror. It was he who first traveled outwards to wage war against the Khan, the Brave Land, 60 years in the past, and he got stabbed by the Northlanders when he was like 28.
When he was
So,
waging
like-
war with the Ka?
When he was waging war with both the Ka
Oh,
and the
and the
Brave
Bra-
Lands,
okay,
he was
gotcha.
expanding out drastically. Yeah.
Gotcha.
And his own son, who is King Ashtung IV, the man who is now presumably waiting back at the Brannick household with his archmage and former general, he would have been crowned the new king at about 7 years of age. And you can understand with all of those failed rolls, I know that you guys fucking crowding around eventually, even though Saigar gets most of it, you don't understand the significance of why the statue is here. There's a lot of the base that you can't read because it is just totally broken down. But you know who it was of previously. And Erica goes, "Hark, a cave!"
Where?
Where?
There was no NPC prodding in PS1 games.
It's pointing.
She can...
Ugh.
Alright, I suppose
The
we should...
most dastardly foe.
Yeah, I suppose we should get... Yeah. More plot.
We go north.
DM is not subtly sending hints right now that he's had it with our investigation of every tiny thing on this
Yeah.
map. In fact, you know what? Tell me about this thing.
He wants,
Oh,
to,
no.
he wants to make
It's
sure we don't try and pillage other things that were just there for
There
decoration.
was a purple flower in there. We needed
Yeah.
to know what the purple flower is.
Unlike
Is it-
when I wanted to shoot the crows, if you remember on the train.
3-year-long camp.
Indeed.
All right.
So inside the growths inside this small little cramped cave are actually normal. And there are massive cobwebs that are clinging between the corners of the ceiling. They're kind of hinting to Saigar what must have lived here between the basilisk and the prophet. And there's a whole bunch of large spider egg pieces that have been kind of pushed to one side of the room that help kind of confirm that discomfort of yours. And some of the trees and the shrubs that are here are still very alien, but for the most part, they're deeply out of place in the rest of the desert. You can see there's a small little bed made up in the center of the cave. It is complete with a little hard flax pillow. And there's a small wooden table with a couple of chairs, no more than like 3 feet high. And the sole inhabitant of the cave can kind of be seen through the leaves as he works. Oh, I've forgotten something. Hang on.
Did you put
And-
it on the map?
No. And this prophet is dressed in clothing that is clearly unsuitable for his race. They are thick layers. They are tied in place with straps and cords. They do not look comfortable. But as this strange creature is tending to the trees, you can see that he looks genuinely blissful. And he hums a tune as he works. He goes, and when it finally comes into full view, your first impression is that of a squat humanoid frog. There are bulbous eyes that stare back at you excitedly from a warty face and some green skin. I'm going to go ahead and fire off some people a bit of extra description based on their passive perception. I'm going to go ahead and put a sheet up. And while I'm doing that, if people would like to roll Dungeoneering to determine this creature's race, they can certainly do so.
I have rolled 3 19s in a row. Oh, no, I got the 14. Never mind. Sorry. That is a lot of 19s.
Difficulty is 13 on this one. So anybody who succeeded at difficulty 13 or 1 second.
Are we revealing the rest of the map?
In a moment. Put a lot of work into that particular shrub there in the top left. I want you to really take the time to enjoy it.
Can Saigar kill it?
The shadows are wrong.
Can I run my fingers through the shrub?
Ooh, hey, look, a card.
He was the best at Chrono Trigger.
Is his name Glenn? I like to think that as, we're kind of approaching the frog creature, we start to hear him go through his, da 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 da. Shay would kind of be going along with it and start harmonizing.
You see this creature's eyes light up a little bit, and then at the very end throws in a couple of lyrics. It's you might be brave, you might be bold, before he remembers himself and then gets all serious again. And this is a bullywug. Anybody who's got difficulty 13 or success 13 or higher on that dungeon or the Dungeoneering check, you know that bullywugs, which is again an anthropomorphic frogman, they normally only speak the language of Aquan, which makes the fact that this one is speaking so I air quotes fluently. They live in extremely tight-knit tribes where they basically don't interact with outsiders fucking at all. So the fact that it knows common is bizarre. And go ahead.
How do I flip where I'm looking?
Use a command, but we will help you with that afterwards. It's exclamation mark, flip, and then space the word horizontal, and we just make a macro for it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly. Then you can do what fucking Coyotes is doing. Fuck it, I'm waiting for just Eerie to start doing 360-degree spins in midair, just doing a barrel roll. That bullywugs basically start out their life as tadpoles and breeding ponds. They're flat out and undeniably 100% evil. If you were a paladin, your fucking this creature is evil radar would be going off, because it is common knowledge that all bullywugs, once they become of age, acceptance into their clan depends on a ritual where they have to do a successful hunt to kill a sentient humanoid. And if you fail, you are exiled from the clan. So as a result, most bullywug attacks are against single individuals, usually women or children, on the fringes of small little towns or travelers in the wilds that are alive. Basically, they're usually knocked unconscious, dragged back to a swamp, bound, and then after they regain consciousness, are able to thrash around and kind of fight back. They are drowned in the water or the muck by the bullywugs to prove their worth. But this particular creature just looks just fucking tickled pink to see you. And if anybody does not speak first, it certainly does.
That's it's a lovely tune there.
He nods like happy. He goes, "It's something I've been working on. The king should have brought me you first, because I can tell just by looking at you, you are going to succeed where the others have not."
Saigar wonders out loud.
Others?
I have not had a good pair of frog legs to eat in a long time. And then realizes he said it out loud by mistake.
I'm actually gonna shoot Saigar, just kind of like really kind of,
Yeah, we're gonna
Blair-
stare at Saigar as well.
Would you go ahead and roll intimidate for me, Saigar? Let's be honest. That's what that was. Let's be real here.
I'm not the most intimidating person.
Well, apparently it's a little unsettling, but you can clearly see that that this creature, it's very clear that this entire time, has been waiting. He's just been sort of sitting in this cave waiting and waiting and waiting for you, probably for a couple of days now. And sort of when the first remark that is made is like, "Man, I could eat part of you," you can very clearly see that like the smile fades off his face. He sort of shirks back a little bit. And after a moment, this creature says, "Well, I think first impressions are very important because they set the tone for how the rest of the relationship will proceed."
Oh, it's all right, dear. If he tries anything, I'll shoot him.
Oh, that's good. I mean, and he brightens up again. The only thing more important than first impressions are second impressions. And then he laughs awkwardly. Ah! And you realize that he was trying to make a joke.
I can't handle this right now.
I'm actually gonna like Shay will laugh, but it'll be kind of like a cute, kind of girlish laugh, like a little unusual for like what you've seen, so far of her. And
Benji, I sent you a Discord message.
Yes. I have
are
been
you
prepared.
all right?
He says, so in introductions, my name is Vale, like a tall mountain, only reversed.
Well,
Did you
Vale,
say Vale?
Vale.
VALE.
my name is Shay.
Hello, Shay, what does that mean?
Means Shay.
Yes, but my name is Vale. It is like the second skin that a woman wears on her face on her marriage day. What does a Shay mean?
But it means like I don't know. I haven't really put a little thought in.
Oh, yeah.
Why don't you
Are
tell
you
me?
familiar with a sachet?
His eyes like light up like, oh, that yes, I can imagine this. Yes.
That's how I like to think of it when it comes to Shay.
I swear to God, I'm going to shoot him.
As I recall, my dear, your bullets heal people so. Yay?
He's got a mean acid bullet, Arcavius. I wouldn't be so sure about that.
Oh, isn't she cute when she's angry?
I'm gonna talk over them and be. My name's Morgaine.
Hello, Morgaine. What are you?
Warforged, I guess.
He sort of just like thinks for a second, like really racking his brain, and then like eyes light up like he's going to say something like, "Oh, okay, I get it," but he goes, "I don't know what that is," and then looks at the next.
Just remember, Vale, we have more to gain by having Morgaine in our group.
I hate you.
I'm gonna unfasten the strap on my gun. Just Very obviously, like in Saigar's kind of view.
The creature shirks back pretty immediately as soon as there is any kind of indication for being a weapon. Like you can see that it really is very, very nervous around. And then a moment when then after a moment when it realizes that you're not actually going to hurt it, it goes, "Oh, humans are so interesting," and then laughs again. You think, "Ah!"
Well, I'm not human. What
In fact,
I
I
am
don't
is.
think most of us are.
Yeah, I think Saigar is, but
Unless you're the only human here.
People think I'm half elven most of the time.
Master Bullywog.
Yes. Looks up and I'm trying to spot you over Saigar's shoulder and
Right.
moving around.
I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Kyvius, and we've been sent, as you probably already know, by some people very close to us who think very highly of you.
He
And-
nods and says, "Hello, Cavius. It is very good to meet you. I hope that we will be good friends."
I hope that we will be excellent friends, and I hope that your predictions turn out to be fruitful for our people and the people of this land.
He
You
says,
kill... Sorry.
he says, "Oh, you know about the fruit already."
the what?
Fruit?
I don't know what you're talking about. What about
I don't know if
the
anybody else wants to do an introduction at all.
Did you kill that thing on your roof?
It tries to ponder this for a second, and then again after a moment laughs for a very long time, like the entire thought is. It has been dead for a very long time. Also, I am not really a killer frog.
So,
I am-
so Saigar has not introduced himself still, but he's eyeing him still with a suspicious gaze because he knows polywogs, as you mentioned in the history of what
Yes.
they are,
Polywogs.
and he sees that the robes are stained with a kind of a blood. And he asks, "Pray tell, Master Vale, why are you bleeding?"
Does sort of glance down to where there is this constant blood pouring out from. It's sort of hidden underneath the layers of clothes a little bit, but he looks a little. He says, Well, it has been a very long trip. I did not expect to survive the trip, but I thought it was important. I came to see the King of Humans because I am an outcast of my people. I wanted to dream, not to hunt, and it is these dreams that made the king decide that I am allowed to live and to be given this fine bed and watering pot. And he holds up the ceramic thing. It's not nice or good or.
Oh, it's very lovely.
Thank you. Yes.
But
But
like Saiga said, are you all right? Like you're bleeding.
It will be better when I do not have to walk so far. I do not know why we had to come all this way, but the king says I should not be seen in a city with people, so this is fine.
Oh.
Master Bullywog, may I attempt to tend to your wound?
He says, it is all right, but thank you. And you can tell that he's very clearly not comfortable with sort of like anybody being too.
I understand.
And then he says, I suppose I should tell you what I told him.
I think we're all interested in hearing that, but we don't want to rush you, only when you're ready.
He nods a little bit and takes kind of a deep breath and makes his way over to the table where there is a there's a little wooden box nearby that he opened up, like a tiny little chest that he starts fumbling around. And he says, "When I dream of a place beyond the mountains where there are trees that grow heavy with fruit. There is a lake filled with turtle eggs. There's a place where the hills are made of white stone. And there are men who live in the mountains and who they fight one another until they can speak the language of the stars. And the beasts that live there, they are the size." And he sort of just flails around with his arms, realizing he's unable to actually stretch out his tiny frog arms to be wide enough to express the sort of like building sort of scale that he's going for. And eventually he just finishes and kind of just smiles at you like his point's been made. And then after a moment, he says, "And it wants me to know that it exists because every morning, most mornings, I should not lie, most mornings I wake up with this." And he holds out his hand. And in both hands, he's protruded from the box large enough that that it is very clearly something that it must have taken him. There's no way he could carry this for a long period of time because it's as big as Saigar's head and easily like nearly a foot in all dimensions. Is this giant melon-like fruit that looks so ripe that it must have been picked from a tree that morning. There's no possible way anybody who's got any basic nature knowledge could know that this has never been seen. You have no idea what the fuck this thing is. It's totally this foreign thing, and it very clearly looks like it is like perfect fresh today. "Sometimes I wake up with this, or bits of fallen star, or sand from the riverbed. I know it wants me to find."
So you dream at night and wake up with fruit?
He nods a little bit and says, "It's I hold it in both hands. I wake up with these. Sometimes I eat them. They are not good."
What is it?
It is fruit. I do not know.
Should we eat this fruit?
It is not good, but you can have it if you would like to. He sort of just prods the side a little bit. "Do not eat the green part."
That shouldn't be a possible thing around here.
He shrugs and he says, "In my dreams, there are hundreds of trees like this."
I wonder if this is some kind of vision enhancing or vision providing fruit.
They come from his dreams, though.
You guys are going to get a motherfucking huge wall of text, some of you who have a high insight score, right? Apologies if there are some delays in the conversation.
It's cool. You posted it in general.
Yeah, you sent it to everyone.
Fucking good. Great. All right. Well, that was for Shay and Erie. How do I delete? Can't do it? All right. Oh, awesome.
You gotta.
You can
purge,
remove
you
the
gotta,
log.
You gotta purge the chat log.
Everyone just close your eyes.
Look at. I can fucking see Benji just reading it.
Oh, sorry. Am I not supposed to? Okay. Whoops. Hey, listen. You have no idea what's going on in other areas around here. Okay.
I'm gonna try that again, guy.
I took it off screen. It's too late. But
Nope. You did it again.
You did it again.
yeah.
What is happening? All right, hang on.
Are you just gonna whisper?
You may want to. It's pasted
Works
twice
now.
now in the. It's
Yeah, now
pasted
that
twice in the chat log there though.
No, it's not working. Cool, hang on.
Well, a part of it worked.
No. Oh, it's, you know what it is? I can't fucking put goddamn. All right, no, I got it now. Whenever I push
Oh, what?
enter, yeah.
You gotta do like what, shift enter?
Try this again. Nope. God, thanks
Put
for
it
being
in
so understanding,
Discord.
guys.
Don't read it. Don't read it 3
That's right.
times.
As we see Benji just looking down into the
I
corner.
mean,
No,
of his
I,
screen.
listen, honestly, I keep scrolling down to see if he deletes it because I don't want
Hey,
to.
that
But at the same time, like it's on stream, it's on the screen, it's a part of the video. It's a done deal.
Too bad. We're gonna fucking play pretend, boys.
Yeah, no, I can pretend I didn't see
Yeah,
it.
don't be that guy.
No, I'm not saying my character would. Don't worry about me.
All right. Well, fuck y'all.
Cool. Get back in the scene.
Yeah, we're fucking focused now. Dun 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 dun.
You see dreams of, basically a promised land is what you're saying, Val.
This is what the king called it. Yes. Again, point at the fruit in case Saigar wants a bite.
Because where we come from, this sort of thing is pretty rare anymore. Food is moved up from commonplace to luxury.
All of
Nods
it.
a little bit and says,
I'm gonna.
I know in my tribe, they only ate halfling children, and they had not found any for years.
And then Shay.
I'm gonna hand. I'm gonna hand Kyvius one of my syringes filled with the green goo. Be like, Kyvius, if I start convulsing on the ground and start foaming at the mouth, just stab me in the neck with that, and then I'm gonna cut off a slice of the fruit with a pocket knife, and then just eat it.
But wait, I might try and stop her. Could I just I asked you a real quick question about in Discord Steel?
Yeah.
Similar or not?
I responded to you in Discord.
Oh, sorry. I missed it. I'm sorry. I would try and stop Shay, and I would say, Shay, I think we should, if it's all right with Master Bullywog, I would love this fruit is so interesting, and its story is so interesting. And you've offered it so freely. I'd love to. Would it be possible to take it back with us, and learn more about it?
As you're asking him this, I'm eating it.
Now I'd try and stop you physically.
Is there a roll? What's going on?
Yeah, I would try and contest that.
The impose strength check, absolutely.
Oh,
What are you guys both -1? That's cool. Let's do it.
Dramatic music.
Oh yeah, fucking let's do it.
Not. Can I do dexterity to be faster?
No.
You telling
use
me you
strength.
so fucking committed to eat this goddamn pear, you're gonna try to somersault your way over?
Oh my god.
Well, that's not what I would want to spend a nat 20 on, but,
Oh, I hit craft accidentally too.
Shay's like, I take this fruit and eat it.
And then I'm just holding Kyvius with
Yeah.
one hand.
And then-
One could say he can eat fruit normally without rolling from now on.
Oh man, nobody likes my Death Note meme. Yes, absolutely, Shay. You have the power for the rest of this game. Whenever you need to eat a fruit, you can do so with incredible fucking determination.
And Kyvius cannot stop.
Determination. Yeah. Shay, it's fucking delicious. Your senses are pretty attuned to like the traces of poison or toxins or anything like that.
Mind you, I only cut off a small, like a sliver of it.
Yeah, noted. But that emotion that you had when like you first came from like the Shadowfell to the real world, and how everything was all of a sudden like you understood colors for the very first time, and like this sun on your skin and feelings and stuff. You realize that this is the exact same feeling from step A to step B, where this fruit is very, very, very vaguely like Fey touched in some way. Like it must have been taken a long, long time ago from the Fey Wild. And this strain has grown here untouched for probably centuries, and it tastes like one of the most incredible things you've ever had.
Shay, you look absolutely stunned. Do tell us.
Do you need?
You're just
Are you
gonna
all right?
you're just gonna be like watching. You're just gonna be like watching like Shay like just eyes like even though like her eyes are like black and like the sclera are also like just like a slightly like less black shade. Like there are tears just coming down, like as like she's kind of like drops to her knees and just.
I look over to Cavius. Do you need the?
It's beautiful.
Oh,
Looks like Shay's all right.
There's like a bead of like drool that's like starting to come out of like the corner of my mouth.
That can't be good.
Shay,
Actually,
can you
I
describe
think-
to us
actually,
what you feel like?
I think if
As
you
like
look
as
at
like my
if you
mouth
look
like
at her
starts to,
face,
like,
I think
crack,
it is good.
crack into like a smile.
See? It's terrible. It's not even hard.
right. Different taste buds. I should have made some assumptions.
I need to have more, and I'm gonna start trying to get more.
I think that's enough for now. I'm gonna like reach up and grab the.
Oh no!
thing.
Like I have tasted the fruit.
Uh-huh.
I am clawing for it.
Okay.
Uh,
I am taking it away from you.
Listen, Morgan, I would love to be able to help you there, but Shay fucking has already established dominance over the fruit and just fucking numbs that thing like a big
No,
fat
no.
gerbil with like a walnut or something. And it's just like, no.
Punch Morgaine just barehanded in the face.
Yeah, you one punch man into the wall of the cave. No, it's very good. It's very filling. You have about half of it before you like set it back on the table, I imagine. But it
Yeah,
feels
about half.
incredible. For you get 5 temporary hit points for the rest of the day. There is something, again, just truly supernatural and good about it, but it's not like, you're enchanted by the Fae now. It's just something that has been untouched by human hands ever since. And this creature says,
It's not a trick, I promise. If you would like, I will have more in the morning. Maybe.
I'm sorry, I didn't fully understand. But where did you say it came from?
Doesn't know.
When I
Just when
dream
you dream
about
of it.
places, I wake up with them. Sometimes, most of the time.
Oh, it's delicious.
It's a pretty incredible origin of this particular fruit.
I want to have. I want more. I want to. Are there seeds? I need to plant it. I need to make more.
Question: is the way that Shay is acting like unusual?
I look like I have just had the best orgasm in my life.
is not unusual then.
No.
It doesn't seem like Shay is under any kind of enchantment or anything. I know that people all know kind of like the children's stories about like, the fucking enchanted fruit brought by a mysterious individual. But it certainly doesn't seem like that's the case. There's a level of sincerity where you can tell that it really does eagerly want you to believe it.
Do whatever this frogman wants. I need more of that fruit.
Well, there's a couple other things to be worried about. More importantly, that this could be good for everyone.
I'm worried about potential like long-term addicting effects of it.
I mean, it's food like any other, though. That's like being worried about food.
Warren, oh, it's unlike any fruit I've ever had. I'm gonna cut off like just a tiny piece and just kind of like offer it.
So, I reach out and I kind of put my hand up. My input won't be that useful. I can't taste.
I'm gonna use my 20 strength score to just shove it in his mouth.
I can't taste. I chew, and it's just goo, and I swallow it like any food, and I
You
look
can't
at you again.
taste?
I can't taste.
Did you
Not
say
for
that
the
out
last-
loud?
Yeah.
What? Why? Wait. Have you never been able to taste?
No, it's been about 2 years.
What in
I-
God's name happened that stopped you from
I-
being able to
I-
taste?
You lose your taste buds?
I was doing some experiments with some creatures, you know, as you do, and after I ate one, I couldn't taste food anymore. I haven't been able to fix it. It's really terrible.
Yeah,
That
it
sounds
sucks.
like
That sounds
torture, my
awful.
friend.
Oh, the only thing that happened to me is I can no longer see out of this eye, but I can still taste things.
Vale pipes up. Have you tried using your tongue? And then to demonstrate, he just like unravels his frog and then dangles down to it in one.
To make an example, I stick out my tongue, and it is like, instead of red, it is like completely gray and almost looks ashen.
Ooh. Ooh. Put that thing away.
No, it's terrible,
You should,
right?
Zygar does that kind of thing where he looks at Warren and kind of just starts slowly looking away.
I'm surprised you didn't replace it with another animal's appendage.
I don't think I tried.
I'm so certain you did. I would not be surprised.
Now I spit spider web sometimes.
Okay, yep, there it is.
At least
I'm
you got
gonna-
textures. That you got that going for you.
I'm going to turn back to Vale and be like, you are awesome.
No, but thank you.
No, you are my best friend right now.
You can very clearly tell that like this has done wonders for fucking cheering this creature up. And then he gets a little like sad, faraway look on his face, and he says,
But lately, my dreams haven't been as helpful as they should be. The king tells me that I didn't do a very good job. I tried to describe how to get to this place as best I could,
he says, and looks in the sea.
but they didn't come back. They died. Something bad happened to them. So I've been trying to dream as best I can and think about it more. And in a few dreams ago,
He says,
I saw the entrance. I heard the name. Stair of Penance.
he says, and puts a finger up in the air.
Ooh. Penance?
I do not know what that word means. But I saw myself in this dream, and in this dream I was holding
He says,
a snake that had rubies for eyes and was made of gemstones. I do not want this, but I have it now.
and he reaches into his chest and he pulls out this beautiful bejeweled serpent with ruby eyes. And he says,
And when I told the king, he brought it to me, and my dreams became more clear.
What is this?
This was inside the wound?
not inside the wound, inside this little box that he had pulled the.
So like he pulled it out of his.
Yeah, well, because I thought you said pull it out of his chest. I was like,
Oh, you said chest. You mean like a
Oh,
treasure?
yeah,
chest.
the little
okay.
Not literally his chest.
Yeah, there's a whole Stargate situation where he's just like rips it out.
I was about to be like, that's hardcore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're to some aliens territory.
Yeah. No, the little box that had the fruit in it, he pulls out this jeweled serpent as well and kind of just tosses it back in there.
Can
unconcerned.
I
Oh, yeah.
roll crafting to recognize the make of this?
I mean, is it alive or is it a
Absolutely.
construction?
Oh, it is constructed.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely roll craft.
Tell me what I know.
God, this is you know that there is someone in High Helm who runs like a black market shop beneath the sewers, and this is one of the most prized items in her possession. It is said to be cursed, or maybe she just fucking made that up. But the subtext bookstore and magic arms and armaments run by Old Beulah, who is serpentine from the waist down and a chain smoking old bitch of a magic items salesperson. This used to be something that in her collection would have been like 200,000 or 300,000 gold pieces. And you relay this to the rest of the group, and he says,
The king got it for me so that my visions would become more clear. They helped.
Huh. This is
This is proof of his belief in you, is what it is.
It's a really cool piece. You can see
I am
that, like,
going
Shay's
to
kind
bring
of.
it back to my tribe so that maybe they will accept me again.
You kind of like see like Shay doing that like thing, like she knows the value of this thing and like the hand.
It's important for the visions, you say? Help make
Yes.
them better. Oh.
In what way are you using it to fall asleep with? What how is it helping you?
When I had it in the dream and I had it in the waking world, I was able to better see the entrance to the cave. I knew the name of the place. I knew where it was. But now, because they did not come back,
And he looks a little sad.
the king wants me to say more of the items that I see in my dreams. There is a golden box with a handle, and there is a helmet. And in my dreams, I'm holding them. And maybe if I had them,
And you see just the slightest shift of his eyes a little.
maybe if I had them, the visions would be so clear that you could be successful.
So you want us to go get these items for you?
And before he can say anything, Erie, your holy symbol, it is carried on your belt or in a pocket.
On the belt.
You carry the holy symbol of Erithus on your belt.
Andre.
Vivandra, thank you. There is a single bloop moment as you all notice that a single drop of blood has rolled down off the side of Erie's holy symbol and just landed at the base of the tree.
That's ominous.
You're
Has
right,
this ever
Erie.
happened before?
Oh, sorry. You said that's happened before.
I was asking Steel if this has ever happened before.
No.
Does anything happen?
No. A long, awkward silence.
I'm not sure if that should be foreboding or it's auspicious.
I mean, Vondra's your god, Erie. What's up? What does blood dripping from the symbol of your faith mean?
I'm not really sure. This is new to me.
A lot of things here new.
Just means we need to be vigilant.
Is the blood still on the ground?
Yeah.
Friends, I'm
Thinking
not sure what to say. I think we probably should all have a little piece of this fruit.
I'm just gonna stare at Sykar.
I mean, I am a little hungry after all.
There has to be enough of it left for us to take, though.
Bill just shrugs. He says,
The king has seen it. I've given him many. There will be more. It is okay. I will have more when you come back.
He did say there'll be some in the morning.
Master Bullywog, Saigar is always hungry.
Yes, I know the feeling.
and he focuses really hard and like has kind of like a constipated look on his face, and then you can just hear that he makes his stomach rumble a little bit in
Don't mess yourself.
Do you need anything to eat?
It is okay. He brings me crickets sometimes.
So you eat crickets?
Do you enjoy crickets?
Everything is okay, he says.
But what you really crave is halfling.
My others of my species, maybe.
he says, and he looks really nervous.
I am trying to be better.
Oh, I understand that. Kind of working against your nature, right?
Yes.
Hey, you know what I have to say, mate? That is commendable because it is extremely difficult. So you should know you are a strong person. It is
Saigar pulls
not
out
an
the
easy thing to do.
Saigar pulls out the finger of Mother Dearest and asks, "Does this look tempting to eat?"
Saigar, stop it.
Oh, that's fucking weird, bro.
It's a
I
little
mean,
weird.
after all, they do eat halflings.
Eyes
Vale,
light up a little bit, and he just sort of shuffles his feet. And goes,
It is okay.
listen, Vale. It's gonna be alright. Do you know what I am?
You are a snowman.
Not man.
Yes.
Snow woman.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So-
She is a snow woman.
So what I am is Shadar Kai. You know, I come from the Shadowfell. Have you heard of that?
No.
It's a really dark place.
Like a
Real
cave.
spooky. Yeah, but much darker and much scarier.
For having no light sources,
And-
this cave is very bright. Was your cave
Yeah.
bright?
No.
Oh,
And people of my race, you know, we turn into creatures of the shadow, and
that's nice.
then we eat, you know, other people.
Okay.
And it's real bad, real scary.
Oh,
But you know, it's something that we all constantly are fighting against. So if I can do it, you can do it.
that was very inspiring.
Question.
We are going to be friends, he says.
I do want to know something. What do you get out of this? You get to keep these things after we bring them to you.
I think so. Maybe yes.
Let's put a pin in that one. If it's really valuable, we should probably keep it.
I would be happier if my dreams were happier, he says.
I want your dreams to be happier.
The point of getting the objects in the first place is to fix the dreams. They won't get better if we just keep it. Then we're just stealing things.
Well, it sounds like we're stealing things and then giving them to someone. But I
The-
agree.
the
You let 'em
Bullywug
keep it.
assumes that this is some kind of joke, and again, same thing, just starts laughing like, ow!
Well, tell us more about this, these things.
Where do you know where we have to go and find them?
I do not. The king knows, but he wanted you to meet me so that I could know for sure that you are the people I saw in my dreams, and I know that you are.
You saw us.
Yes, he says. I saw Morgan
You can tell that he's thinking about names each time.
and Warren. I do not know what your name is.
He points to
He cut out.
At who?
Erie, to the ferry.
Oh. Eerie.
That is a name that makes sense. And I know Saga, and I know Shay, and I especially know you, Kyrie.
Oh. Well, I'm pleased to meet you for the first time. I hope to learn much more about you.
It is just a big old bundle of cheer.
So, I say aloud, I didn't tell him my name when we did introductions, so that's at least sort of impressive.
That would have
Let's
been
see.
my error. My apologies.
So,
remember.
what's
Okay, never mind.
what are we doing in these visions of yours?
You are climbing a mountain, and you are jumping from ice to ice, and you are fighting one of the Starmen, and Warren wins.
He says with a nod.
Oh, that's cool. You said you don't know
Starmen, you said?
Starmen?
Yeah, he had referred earlier to like what the place beyond the mountains was like, and he referred to people who fought until they spoke the language of the stars, and that's what is reference to.
And you didn't see Eerie in these visions?
Oh, is this working now?
Oh,
Yeah.
hi.
Sorry.
I didn't have names in the visions, but I did see all of you.
Oh, okay.
Did you see anyone besides us?
He nods again and he goes,
Yes, there was 5 others.
The Warriors of Darkness.
So, are you saying these
What?
are like visions of the future?
What did the other 5 look like?
There was a robot like you.
he points to Morgaine.
Oh God.
Uh-huh.
And that's all I remember.
Uh-huh.
Well, it might not be as bad as we think. There's other Warforged in the world.
Right. No.
Yeah.
Did,
Totally.
Did this robot have like a pointy hat and like a sword with a like a tassel on the end?
No. She looked a little like you.
He says and points to you.
And she could fly.
She
Yes.
like me.
Yes.
I didn't know Warforged had genders. I thought we were all just sort of boxy.
This one was not boxy, he says. And she had a third eye that was purple. And they were all following orders.
Who was giving the orders? Do you know?
A bird woman.
Bood?
A bird woman.
Bird woman. Okay.
Hmm.
So be on the lookout for a robot woman that's taking orders from a bird woman.
Yes.
And
Looks
the
like
robot
me.
woman and the robot woman looks like Shay and has 3 eyes, and the third one is purple.
Yes. But maybe you could be friends.
Yeah, well, you know, stranger things have happened. We made friends with this one, and he nods to Shay.
Oi.
I appreciate you not calling me strange.
Morgaine, please.
Master Bullywog.
Yeah.
So, am I to understand? I'm sorry to change the subject, but the king said curious things to us, and so I figured they were somehow related. Am I to understand that the implements that you require to enhance your visions, a helmet and what's the other thing?
A funny-looking box.
A funny-looking. Are these? Is this why the king mentioned some interesting locations before making our way on a journey?
I don't know.
So this wasn't done at your request. This was more the king's request.
This was just things I saw in my dreams.
I see. Oh, okay. So we should
probably ask the king a bit.
Yes.
But we haven't seen the king in a while, have we?
He's back at the
Oh,
Braddocks.
he's just back at the house.
He sent us here to meet the prophet, so that then we could decide if we wanted to go on his little crusade.
Yes.
And we're supposed to go back to him and tell him whether or not we're going to do it.
So, Master Bullywog, if the visions of the other 5 that you saw, they were on this journey to the stairs of not perdition. It was penance. They weren't in our immediate future.
He blinks a couple times and then thoughtfully says,
Do you think they're going to the same place?
You know, I honestly don't know. I think I might be a little confused by what the king told us he needed us to do in the short term, and I think I might be mixing that up with the long-term goals.
I'm gonna slap Kyvius on the back, hopefully
Whoa.
carrying out my 20 strength score, and just be like, "Oh, I'm sure it'll be alright."
oh, your strength score has worn off. It is a loving
Ah, fuck it.
caress,
All right,
fortunately.
it's fine. You couldn't prevent me from eating.
Yeah, no. You continue to block out his entire face with your character sprite, however.
That's Saigar.
That's Saigar, not Cavius.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Pardon me. Slap that booty. All right, there you go.
Oh, okay. All right. That's definitely.
Oh, wait, what
him.
happened? Hang on. What happened to my fruit?
There was
We
like
have-
half of it left over. I imagine in an inventory. somewhere.
I took it and put it into my bag.
Oh, okay.
Noted.
So I
Well-
have half a fruit, but I kind of wrapped up inside a piece of cloth.
I've got a very serious fruit addiction going on.
So
He says,
I hope this has been helpful. When you come back, I will have many more important visions for you.
I have absolute faith that you will.
You keep a close eye on that snake, though. Don't let it go anywhere.
It's not real, Cavius.
Okay, yes, but you said it helped you, so I just want to make sure. Okay, yes, okay, you're right. No, I could have implied that. You know, ignore me. I'm rambling.
but he nods understandingly, is in full agreement.
I guess we're on our way.
Back to the king.
And you guys all one by one turn to go, and he makes his way back over to like the bed and puts down the watering can and lies down and just fucking waits until you come back.
I'm gonna hang back while the group leaves.
Okay.
Quick question: has the drop of blood that fell from Erie's belt has it disappeared or is it still there?
I mean, it kind of like hit one of the little blades of grass and sort of rolled down the blade of grass. It doesn't just disintegrate or vanish instantly, but it is going to sink into the soil eventually.
Oh, I want to definitely pick it up.
Pick
See
up
it.
the drop of blood.
Well, just like poke it with a finger and just see if it's any way recognizable.
No, man,
If
it's
weird
just
blood, or if it's just like generic humanish blood.
it just leaves a red stain on your fingers.
What is that?
Erie,
Very
should you
trouble.
you want to try tasting the blood? Is it actually blood?
Will you guys ponder that real quick? Zach, pop channels me real fast.
All right.
2 seconds, I promise, guys. I promise.
fine, we can talk as we walk out of the cave.
I mean, it's a question for Erie. Like, is it actually blood or not?
As
Yeah,
far as I can tell, it's just blood.
I don't know what it is.
I'm confused why the king didn't tell us about these items before coming here.
because the bullywog is the most sketchy person I've met in a long time.
Yeah, Saigar
Listen,
has
he
had a run
wanted
in the
it.
past with this.
But, like, we needed these. I don't know why we're walking back to town again.
Well, it's more like I think a lot of people, if they encountered this guy, would decide whether or not they would trust him, you know?
I thought we were already, on the plan.
He wanted to be sure we met him first. And fair enough.
It's quite possible that the king wanted us to see it for our own eyes, because if he just simply told us there was a bullywog.
I'm not the most, socially sensitive person. I'm not good at figuring out people's intentions and that sort of thing. I've dealt with a lot of selfish people in my life, and I can't help get a feeling that, maybe all this bullywog wants is all these priceless artifacts so he can take off with them. This vision could be full of shit.
But we'll take the risk because what's the alternative?
No, I'm just putting it out there because I trust all of you, and if anybody else has got a feeling, then I'm just asking. Ain't my expertise in any way whatsoever.
I don't know, I'm just feeling weird about this. It just seems my
Therica, my
wave
dear,
it
are you
off.
all right? I hope we didn't keep you waiting too long.
I mean, I heard snips of the conversation. Not that I was eavesdropping or anything. I just sort of wound my way over to the door sometimes and I could hear parts of it. And it sounded like you guys were making very good use of time. Shay, do you need a nappy? You hold up a handkerchief. Got a little right there on the corner. You're probably used to that, though.
Excuse you.
Just a little fruit there, the little juice.
I'm gonna pull out a coin and just start like twiddling it between my fingers.
Ooh, dangerous. I love it.
That's nice. We need to get back to town. Apparently, we have to talk to the king again.
Yeah, like doing that thing where it's like, you know, kind of like flipping over like my knuckles.
She nods and goes, yeah, he's probably set up by now.
Set up.
Set up.
Well, you're heading back to the city. Javi had a whole thing ready. Kyvis, you coming?
He's just
No.
Blair Witch in the corner.
Just in the corner.
Sorry,
No.
sorry,
Blair
yes,
Witch in
um,
the
done.
corner.
totally coming.
That
I
one
was
coming.
Just distracted for a second. I was
So
distracted
then-
for a second. Sorry.
Oh my
So
god,
we're-
he turned to text.
So-
Is this us returning to the king?
Yes. There's gonna be a break here that we're gonna take about 10 minutes here, guys.
I was gonna say, yeah, like this is our break time.
About 10 minutes. There's a stopping point here that I want to hit.
Question to the princess before we start moving. So, the plan to get the jeweled serpent, was that as crazy as what he's about to have us do?
Oh no, actually, way less crazy. They just bought that. No, this is a whole nother thing. Yeah.
Alright.
So you know the jewel box that was the weird shape he was talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, guess what? We found it. It's a magic fucking lamp.
It's
So
like-
Wait, like
yeah,
like a genie lamp?
Genie in the lamp?
like. Well, first of all, that is a racist term. Don't let anybody here at the
So-
hear that from you.
Point
But
it out.
call
yeah,
out?
there is a casino that started up in High Helm called the Devil's Due, and it was made famous. Somebody from the Ka basically showed up with a ton of wealth and worked with one of the people that was already part of like the White Gold Mercantile Organization to create a casino. And it's been operating for about 7 years now. And we know that the thing that he's looking for, specifically from the exact description, and like, don't let him fool you. He knows exactly what he's looking for is a magic lamp that grants magical wishes that is in a vault in a casino. And it's probably guarded by like a million deadly death traps and stuff too. And then here's the other one. The other thing, the helmet. Yeah, no, we found that too, she says with like a roll of her eyes. Yeah, no, so remember how Kiovasin just died like yesterday? Real sad?
Right.
There.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
guess what? That thing I'm pretty sure it knows about it too, because the rest of Andeas Ova and Kiovasin's gear is taken back to the royal crypt where it gets laid to rest with all the other great lords and kings and so forth and so on. And that, the Bullywug, wants the helmet that was worn by King Yolas Ashtung III, the dead one, the statue that was outside the place he was hanging out, which is also in the royal crypt.
Oh God.
But that should be the easiest one. We could
They
just
should-
walk in there with like King's name and grab it. Right?
Yeah, the,
Not
the
anymore.
Royal Crypt in High Helm. Yes. I don't.
Well, it's
think-
not really in High Helm. It's like about an hour's walk through the forest, but it's not a big deal. You pretty much can go in there, except for the fact that we've had a whole bunch of guards reporting that, like, I don't know, there's an ageless that's killing people that come close to it now. So that's great. Yeah, it's a lot of stuff going on. I'll let Javi explain.
Oh shit.
Oh boy.
You guys do eventually start making your way back to Brannick's abode, and you can see that King Yolas is sitting on the front steps. He's very weighed down still by all the big rocks that he's been dragging around. I know, Shay, fucking 5 more minutes, 10 more minutes, I promise. And you can see that Javi is setting up these complex runic circles by drawing them in the sand. And he has a big, you recognize it as the stones of transposition because you've seen them a couple of times now. He's got them set in the center of each one in the sand. And he's got Leaf nearby. She's helping. And you can hear, even at this distance, that there is fighting going on in the house. You can hear Caslin and Keo arguing loudly back and forth.
I will go at a faster jaunt.
I think we all double time.
Like if I hear like actual combat, I'm full on sprinting.
Well, it's not combat. It's just like as you get close to the house, you can hear her being like, "You are not taking this seriously enough, Caslin. I cannot go outside for the rest of my life. Do you get that? There's no swimming under a waterfall. There's never being able to just run for miles. I'm not giving up all of that so you can pretend that you've got everything under control." And he's like, "Oh, Kiwi, come on." And she said, "No, don't you start with that. No pet names. You do this every time. You don't want to take responsibility, so you just act hurt until I'm guilted into dropping the issue. Caslin, by the buried scales, you used to be a soldier. What happened to you?" And he's like, "Oh, well, we just need to face some facts. Doesn't matter whose fault it is. There's a dozen dead ringed fighters at the station, and one of them took an arrow in our kitchen. She's gonna come back with an army no matter what." And you hear her start back like, "Well, you never should have let her walk away." And just the fight is.
Just reek open the door a little. Hi.
They continue on for a little bit, like you kind of walk in there and you get the king moves aside and he's like, "Oh, the woman I fell in love with was against senseless killing. You want to bring our daughter up in a world like it?" She's like, "Don't you dare bring Leaf into this. Don't you fucking dare." And he's like, "This whole thing's about which city her darn bedroom's in." And then you're like, "Excuse me," and they both turn and look at you and they're like, "What?"
Just wave.
Keo runs a hand through her hair, and you can see that inside the house, they've basically been packing up a lot of stuff, like they're getting ready to move again.
Oh, this is our
I'm
fault,
sorry.
isn't it?
Yep.
Should have let me shoot her.
She couldn't speak after that.
Yeah, you did shoot. Who was it? You did shoot. Who shot her?
It was,
No.
That was
No.
Saiga. Oh, right, that
We
was
should
Saiga.
have let
that
her
was
die,
Saiga.
is what you're trying to say.
I mean, it was a great shot.
Right, but you're the one who healed her.
I'm just saying. Like, we could have just. You know what? No. I'm not one to talk right now.
If you really felt that way, you shouldn't have healed her.
Why are you guys leaving, though?
I mean, it's obvious they're on witness protection now, right?
They basically expressed to you that like they figure it's pretty much only a matter of time. There was when you guys were gone, the woman with the blonde hair, the elf woman, had come back, the lightning mage, Laylette, and basically had informed them that it was only out of respect for you, Warren, that it wasn't going to become bloodshed here immediately, but she had to give a full report, and she had survived thanks to Saiger, but she had to send a full report back to the Ka, and they were coming in mass to make sure the city had the military like tripled down. They're going to start like going through people's houses and making sure there's nobody that's like hidden or anything like that. They've got a perfect accurate head count, and because the city is now going to be under scrutiny again, there's no way that Kiovasin can hide here.
She came. The one who can't speak anymore. She came back and informed them that she gave a report.
Even when we told her that she should not come back here ever again.
She could have used flashcards.
I shake my head. You're all looking at the wrong thing. This was going to be a problem as soon as the train got turned over.
Yep.
No, I don't disagree. I'm just, I have to admire the stones on that woman after getting shot through the throat.
It was a kind of a graze.
A kind of a graze.
No, we all knew it was a possibility, Warren. I figured we had a little bit more time than just now.
I did too.
Move quickly.
I'm just saying, don't. Standing in front of Keo right here, I look up at her. We did what we did to save who we would, And if she was in our place, she wouldn't be apologizing to us right now.
But Morgaine, do they move that quickly? Like, all I've seen so far is they're very deliberate and they take their time with their movements. I thought, not act rapidly.
No, they act when they want to act.
It's based on the threat,
Yeah,
the size
it's-
and urgency of it.
And Brannick says, and whether it's next month or 2 years from now, this ain't no place for Leaf.
Well,
No,
the
you need to
important thing
leave
is,
now.
Yeah, just to ensure the family safety.
Is there anything I could do?
Is there anything
Helpful,
any of us
something.
can do to help?
She, Keel Boston, gaze softens, looking at Olive, and says, you can make a decision quickly. Frankly, the king hanging out here isn't going to do us any favors. The sooner that we can get all of us out of this place, I think the better. Have you thought anything about the proposal? Because if you want to walk away, I get it. We can maybe find other people. I haven't exhausted all of my resources, she says, and it's very clear that she has.
So, Keo, this... I mean, you believe in this plan. This is... I guess what I'm saying is... You obviously brought us here for a reason, but... You believe in the king's plan. You believe in Jovi's plan. You believe strong enough to off yourself. In name only, maybe. But you believe so strongly this can be done and that we can do it. Just, that's what I'm asking.
She first snaps the glare at Brannick, who Castle like mutters under his breath that he's like, "Oh, sure, they're allowed to use pet names," but she turns back to you immediately, and goes, "I have done some incredibly stupid, reckless things in the past, and the person that's sitting outside there has always had. When I came after all of you." And Javi came with me, and we orchestrated it in the span of hours. It was only because of those two outside that had complete confidence that what we were doing was right, even at the cost of starting the war again. Days after the treaty had first been signed, they did what they knew was right. And I've always known them to see a plan to fruition. I think this all sounds crazy. I can't trust the prophet. I think that you robbing the crypts is beyond disrespectful. But something's got to give. Something's got to happen. And I don't know what other solutions we've got. And I've never known the king or Javi to fail. Never.
I think now that we're all a little bit older and a little bit wiser, I think we can certainly agree that meeting us in the car when we were children was pretty much a minor miracle.
It was.
But you say you're going to see the king fail. The fact that the cow were abducting us, would you not consider that a failure?
She pauses a little bit on that and says, you know what? Yeah, you're right. If there is one thing that they both fall down upon, it's that they believe too much in people. If you ask me, Fandon, the guy who's currently in charge of High Helm, I mean, he rose to prominence so quick by the will of the people. There was something going on there. He's behind something more complicated than you and I know. But you know what? We don't have to know, and we don't have to care about it. We only have to worry about the present. And right now, my present is I want to be a grandmother someday. And I don't want to see spring roll around and armies marching over this city. And I don't know what you want.
Actually, I'd really like to see you as a grandmother, because that would crack my shit up.
People are always going to be fighting, but people shouldn't be fighting to live.
Oh my god, are we doing the inspirational speech?
No.
It's a fucking casino and some fucking royal crypts. I have robbed harder. Let's go.
You did an inspirational speech to a frog about fruit.
Listen,
he has a point.
Warren. Listen, Warren. That fruit is nectar of the gods. All right. If I see you getting rid of that without my permission before I've eaten it, I will kill you.
Seeing as I have the fruit, for sure.
I do.
I point
I
my
do
finger
wanna
from.
go-
I move my finger from Warren to Saigar without like breaking eye contact with Warren.
I'm all in for this plan, but there's one thing I have to lay out right away. We've seen what happens when people compromise for a greater good, with a Kaw discarded individuality for their greater good, and fucking a High Helm let their people starve for their greater good. All I ask, if we're gonna do this together, is we don't trade lives for a greater good.
So you don't believe in the Machiavellian principles?
I
that
believe-
the end justifies the means.
Yes, and I believe in this plan, and I believe we can accomplish. But I won't be with you if we decide to do it upon piles of innocent bodies.
Fine, we'll rob the casino without killing anyone.
I believe Morgan. You speak. I agree with you.
Let's do it right.
Meanwhile, outside, you can hear Javi shout, I've got no charge. Your Majesty, could you ask young Leaf if she drew the circle in the sand that I asked for? And then a moment later, you can hear the king call back, young Lady Brannock regrets that she must disclose that she has not yet done so at this juncture. Would it be a bother to find out why not? And there's another long pause. And then the king says, the young lady informs me that there's no bother at all, but she maintains her inability to perform this task because, and here I quote directly, Bug lives inside. And you can hear like the sound of Javi getting up and moving over and getting back to the runes.
I just want to play with Leaf for a whole session.
This is pretty cool.
Use your hero point. You can come and join us on the journey.
Brannock, before you guys leave, Casting gives you a look and goes, for what it's worth, I mean, the far north ain't no better. In the Brave Lands, life is to wake up when it's dark, pray to the spirits for enough warmth to survive the day, and bring home just enough food that you gotta choose which of your 2 of your 3 favorite siblings are gonna be fed that day. They're not a strong people, they're just confusing it with being stubborn. Nowhere's great.
No, nowhere's great.
So I guess that's
Well,
why
except for
we're
like
going
the
to
car,
find
they seem to be doing
a
the
place
same.
better.
Khan's not good either.
Claire, could you repeat that? That's the first time Erie has spoken all game, and I missed it because people talking.
Sorry about that.
So I guess it's up to us to go and find some place better.
The promised land, as the frog puts it. Bullywug, sorry, I don't know.
Let's just hope we can find it. I think we should find out as much as we can from the king about this casino in this crypt. And I do agree with Morgan that we should.
Morgaine.
Well, yes, that's what I said. Didn't you listen? You just misinterpreted because of my accent. That's why. But I do agree with him that we should try to restrict the loss of life, at least from the innocents. I cannot imagine we're going to make it through this unscathed, though. So I think any kinds of preparations we could make beforehand, or decent information about the layout of where we are heading, would be advisable. So let's go talk to the king, see what he wants us to do.
You guys all I think collectively step out of the building, make your way across the sands, moving fairly quickly now because you know that there's actually a destination. Probably about 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Sun is high in the sky, and when you do eventually hit the 3 of them, and Leaf is just sort of poking at the ground with a stick, and Jobby, claps his hands and gets the sand off. Goes, perfect timing, just finished. So, your thoughts? And the king looks at you with, just desperate expectations and hopes.
Your bullywug friend is crazy, but I think we're all in on this.
Jobby just throws his head back and laughs for way too long. He goes, fantastic. Otherwise, I would have made the deal with Hakan to store 8 mannequins in his basement for nothing. Long story. So, here's the deal. We're getting you back to High Helm to start with. Every single one of you is going to be getting a shot of transposition, which is going to swap your places with a mannequin that I've already set up in a safe location. Assuming my calculations are correct, and he bites his lip and furrows his brow a little bit and starts handing out those same shards that you've seen before, and kind of walking you through the sort of command word that you use to activate.
I look like a kid who just got his permission slip signed to go on a field trip.
I like bang it against my hand to see how solid it is.
It breaks in his hand. Yeah, 'cause you're sitting here.
I need another one.
Problem is, transposition is not an exact science, he says. After we activate this, we have roughly 36 hours before the spell ends, and then wherever you are, it'll bring you back here. It'll transpose you once again with the mannequins that have possessed the other. So you only have a very limited amount of time to accomplish both of your goals. The first one is to break into, and then the king interrupts him and says, into the Devil's Due Casino, which don't regret anything you have to do there. It's car run. It is dirty money. It is basically blood money there. Try to avoid loss of life if you can. They are our citizens. And then the second, and the one that I would highly recommend first, is the crypts to the north end of the city. And I recommend that one because if the reports are to be believed, my soldiers there are dealing with an ageless on the outside of the crypt. And the sooner you are able to deal with that and prevent any further loss of life to my men, the better.
You've got 2 professional ageless killers right here. I bump shoulders with Eerie.
Maybe we can find you a tongue.
Oh, yeah, I had some idea. What kind of creature is it?
Okay. Let's wait until we get there, then we'll see.
The king says, I don't have full details. It's a wingless insect of some type, stinger on its tail, crawls. It's not... I can't imagine it would be that dangerous. And I'm told it's not particularly large.
It'll
few
be
dozen
fine.
feet.
Not a butterfly, right?
He pauses and says, I don't believe so.
Terrifying proboscises.
What's wrong with butterflies?
I need revenge.
Oh. Why?
The scar.
Oh, right. It was giant.
You bought your scar from a butterfly?
Did any of you listen to him?
No,
I don't listen to much, my friend.
I remember. My apologies.
Javi hands each of these shards to you and says, all right. Pardon me, that's the wrong phrase. All right, are you ready to go?
So, hold up. Royal Crypt first or Casino?
Crypt.
I think I say crypt.
Crypt, yes, but are we... Okay, sorry, and maybe I missed a step. Do we come back here, or do we go right from the crypt to the casino?
We have to do both.
You're going to need to acquire both of them in a 36-hour period.
Okay.
You're going to appear in the basement of an arcane shop to whom I have some connections.
Okay.
It's known as the Wick's End, or probably at Wick's End, rather. The proprietor there owes me a favor. Basically, they're just selling candles of warding and candles of invocation, things like that. But you'll wind up in the basement there. It's about equal distance between the outside of the city and then the slum section of the city. I'm sure that you're familiar. Where a few blocks from a particular museum from when you were children, there is a casino known as the Devil's Due. You'll have to hit up both of those.
So one thing I don't understand, you said your citizens are in the casino, but it's run by the Shah. I don't understand that. Is it because they are working for the Shah?
It's in High Helm.
Highhelm's not how it used to be.
But they're still high-home citizens. They're not Ka.
The ones
It belongs to the
gambling,
Ka.
but
Oh,
yeah,
it's run by them.
it's
The
run by the
proprietors
Ka,
there
but yeah.
are loyal to the Ka as they
Wow.
masquerade as citizens of our own nation. But there are certainly people of High Helm that are likely there, hoping desperately for a better tomorrow. Please don't simply go on a rampage. Stealth as best you can.
In other words, Saigar, keep it in your quiver.
Listen, my friend. I only aim to intimidate, not to maim and murder.
Well, your
Well,
track
wait,
record isn't that great.
Yeah, exactly.
Listen, my hand
That-
slipped, all right? My hand
Love
slipped. I blame Shay for that one.
I believe there was some maiming involved, actually.
My hand
Once more,
slipped.
we are after the conqueror's crown of King Yolas Ashtung III, deepest within the royal. You are specifically looking for the antechambers belonging to the kings long past. If there are any spiritual guardians down there, again, I hope that you will choose parley as opposed to attempting to swing at ghosts with unenchanted wooden sticks. And the second is a magical lantern. Should be easy enough to spot if the Bullywug's description is to be believed. In the vaults of the Devil's Due. Are there any last questions?
Are you familiar with the spirits that you just described in the crypts? Are they amenable to discussion? Or is there anything we should do to ward ourselves from them?
Haven't the foggiest, he says with a smile.
I'm
Alrighty,
sure we'll
understood.
find. I'm sure we'll find out.
Is there any way we can be unmolested by the city guards? We'll be in quite a rush.
Still, I am not gonna get stopped on the street for being a citizen.
No, but you might be stopped out on the street after running away from a crypt into a bank
The king
or
clears
casino.
point. He says, well, I wish that I could grant you a charter, something powerful and ceremonious, something like acting upon the greater good by the authority vested within them by the regent of the dragon throne. Oh, wait, no, I can do that. And he reaches into a pocket and pulls out a writ that has a couple things on there. The first describes that you can basically get anything that you need from the markets at no cost. It'll just go to the royal treasuries. It gives you access to beasts of burden from the actual stables if you need to use them once you are departing High Helm on your quest for the Far West. Not something to do immediately, but it also does include a lot of information in the royal seal that you are acting in under the direct orders of the king himself and can kind of get access to anywhere that you need and can kind of brush past authority. He says it's not it's not worth what it used to be, but
This will help, though.
You're gonna hold this out if we didn't ask for it. You're not even a bullywog out there.
All right. Last but not least, last question from me at least. Do you have any contacts in the city? Anyone that would know the layout of the casino? Maybe give us an idea of where we're going. Any kind of routes we could exploit to, the architect who maybe made the building or something that could help us expedite this little caper.
Tavius,
Don't
worry about
that
this.
one. I know a guy.
Oh,
Shay, we might be knowing the same person.
I guess we'll find out, won't we?
I don't know nobody. I've lived on an island for 9 years.
you know
I don't
lots
even
of
remember
animals.
what I am. I do.
Wait a minute, this guy. Who do you
listen,
know?
don't have time. 36 hours on the
Okay,
clock.
okay,
We are
listen.
moving and talking at the same time. You've got plenty of time. Trek into the forest. All we ready to go.
Crypt first, casino second. Got it.
So we
Agreed.
have 36 hours, but is there any way for us to keep track of the time left we have?
Oh God, good question.
It's an hourglass or something you can give
A
us.
what?
You know, we had considered that. We were concerned that perhaps an hourglass, given your penchant for battle and perhaps whatever the casino heist might actually entail, might not end up being as accurate as we would have liked. And we wouldn't want to give you a false sense of time. Just expedition, please.
All right, let's start
We've-
the clock.
Only got one shot at this. And with that, you each say the command word. There is a jostling feeling. Everybody go ahead and roll a d20 for me real fast. Just tell me who the lowest person.
Oh no.
Shay, you lose your temporary hit points as you all appear inside this basement. Everybody lands exactly where they were supposed to be. Shay, there is a moment where the shard of transposition doesn't happen at the exact same time, and you fall on a mannequin shaped a little bit like you. Your gut hits, just like your thigh, rather, just hits like your own mannequin self on the goggles on your head. And you kind of like fall right as it vanishes, and you kind of land awkwardly on your feet. But you take 5 hit points in damage, losing those temporary hit points. Haha. And you all wind up somewhat groggily in the basement, having been ripped across time and space. And you know that you are in the basement of High Helm, and time has begun for you to rush towards either of your two destinations. Let's take a 10-minute break.
Yeah.
And the basement is completely dark.
I was
It's totally
actually
dark.
I was actually going to put my foot down.
That was a long, like, we're almost there.
We love to tangent.
You guys do love to tangent. All right, I will see
All
you in
right.
a few minutes, boys.
10 minutes, yep. All right.
Benji, let's get the Apple Watches ready.
Well, I mean, how do you do game time?
I'm talking about 36 hours. Let's have an Apple Watch. I'm just kidding.
I know. It's all right. I'll be right back. I need something to eat.
Benji, you and I need to talk about Apple's announcement today later.
Created so much work for me.
I know it did. I have questions. Hey, wow, did you watch the Sonic the Hedgehog trailer with where someone had replaced the whole thing with?
Yeah. No, I saw that.
It's amazing that guy did that because it's like he did it in like no time, right?
I can't believe.
I mean, don't get me wrong, the movie still looks bad, but at least
Yeah.
he looks like Sonic at least, right?
Yeah, I can't believe the design they went with it first. That still blows my mind that they thought that was a good idea. That it made it all the way through to trailer.
That's just the thing, though, right? Like, it's Sega signed off on it. I don't understand.
Is the cartoon version the actual new trailer?
No, it's not.
That's
It's
a
just
fan.
some guy did it.
I was
like,
gonna
on
say because like I'd watch that.
Yeah,
the thing is, the guy did it in like on his laptop, and like he did it in like fucking like a week. If he can do that, I can hope that a team of dedicated animators can do a better job.
I'm sure they can figure out the design. Like,
I don't know how Sega signed off on the original design. Like they own the
I
rights to
have
the
no
character, right?
Somebody
Yeah.
fucking. I mean, what card Shay has is bugging me.
You don't know, or you do?
Don't know. I can't open it.
none of us know either.
Tried to
I don't
disable
think.
it.
Oh.
Tried to disable myself from being able to see it with a UI thing.
Yeah, Steel doesn't know our cards.
It's an interesting one.
Oh, I can steal it, but I can't see it. All right.
I actually don't want you to know what this
Okay,
is.
that's fine, man. So I also wanted to say, guys, real fast that we're gonna probably fast track some of the description here, as I'm gonna fucking force you. I don't know which of those two destinations you're heading to. It sounded like the Royal.
I think, like everyone said crypt.
I think we're
It was a
unanimous
pretty
on the
huge-
consent,
Yeah.
but like that's something I was gonna ask is like,
Yeah.
is there a combat if we can fast track like
Yeah.
horses?
We're gonna skip all
Yeah.
that part. We're gonna head straight to yeah. I'm thinking I would like for the second half of this game to be combating. We're gonna basically whichever of those two locations you head to, we're gonna have a combat there. Ageless at the crypts would be the most interesting one for me.
Were we able to purchase things? Can we expedite that?
Nope.
Okay.
No provisions, basically.
Nope.
All right.
So here's what we're doing. So there's two real sort of things here, as you guys know. One of them is a legitimate dungeon crawl, and we've talked about this a little bit with like with Wild and Claire and Zek to some, where again, guys, remember once we start dungeon crawling, there's no turning around and coming back and taking a long rest, right?
It's over at that point.
Over.
Sorry. So once we start, you're talking about like, let's say we finish the crypt and come out. That doesn't consider as longer. It's still part of the same crawl.
So
basically,
when
everything.
let's talk about Saigar in this hypothetical example. Saigar, how many healing surges do you have?
1 second here.
Sure.
6.
6. So so everybody who is currently, and this will answer your question as well, Zach, everybody is currently totally recharged, right? You're all set. All your dailies are back. Your hit points are full. Except for, including Shay now, everybody's full. Morgaine has 37 out of 37, I believe. It's been such a chill period that pretty much everybody is good to go. But then there was that brief moment where Warren got shot and he spent a healing surge. That one is staying.
Yeah.
But beyond that, everything else, when you need to recover your daily powers or when you need to, regain hit points, the only way that you get your daily powers back is during a long rest, which takes like a couple of days. So hopefully you guys are seeing where the long rest actually occurs in this case. It's after you've done both of these things. So there's a dungeon crawl that is going to have, and I will tell you straightforward, somewhere between 2 and 5 encounters. It is going to be an actual proper dungeon. It's going to take us probably 2.5 sessions, 2 sessions-ish.
Fantastic.
4 sessions.
Yeah. The one is
You're with
the one is the casino heist, which would be probably 1 session full to
So
end.
3.
Jesus. And just be aware that, like, as you guys, like, you take 2 hit points and damage Saigar, you can recover your own health. You can go to 0 and full and 0 again once you get those 6 healing surges, let you recover 150% of your health. So basically your health right now is 30. You've got about 45 hit points of additional healing that you can do over the course of this entire adventure, of however many fights they're going to be. So playing very tactical and smart is going to be important. You guys are going to have to rely on your teammates using their daily powers at, like, intelligent time. Unlike the last fight that we did, where it's all just fucking willy goddamn nilly, show your shit and be a badass. This is going to be kind of the tactical phase of where combat's going to start. We've had one
Resource
combat
management.
Yeah. We've had the first fight you guys did was against the Feywild thing, where you fucking couldn't lose, no big deal. It was just fucking fun and games. Second one was the train. Starting today, it is going to be, you have to be playing tactically.
All right.
I like just fucking Eerie on the counter.
Benji
Oh,
hopped in
they can't see me.
most of the way through
Neither
there.
can I. I don't know where I put myself. Neither will they.
Steele was saying we're gonna fight today, basically.
Yeah, I heard some of it. I heard something about temporary hit points, but I think it only had to do with Saigar.
No, you're good. Yeah.
Okay.
It's all stuff you know.
Okay, cool. Is the map dark for everyone else?
It's
Yeah.
fairly dark.
Oh, okay, cool.
You don't
Nah.
see stuff. It's not black.
No, it's,
I
it's
mean,
all black for me.
Oh, it's all black
I mean,
for me.
I can see,
Oh.
like, because of dark vision. So you can tell me what I see.
No, I think he means the map. Oh, hey, there it is.
Oh, damn. Okay, I'm sorry. Whoops.
I see a cardboard box with hit points.
Snake?
Also, the box's shadows and do not match the rest of the backdrop.
No, thank
If I kill him now, do I get the Geomancy card?
Surprise, it was me.
Damn. We're bamboozled.
He's got the solid snakes. How come I can't see your HP?
Well, I see his bar, but I don't see his number.
Oh, fuck. God damn it.
You're gonna have to reset him for every
Goddamn shit, Eerie.
Well, that's just the new token version. So
Fuck
it
you.
should be fine for all the new maps.
Goddamn, fuck your shit. Alright, hang on. I'll fix it later. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Alright.
Why does Clay
I
do
see it.
I see it
now.
everything?
So I was just saying, Benji, that people are hankered
fine.
that
You don't
end on
have
a
to beat yourself.
combative note, so we're going to go ahead and gonna sort of just move quickly through this next little bit of stuff.
We expedited us going to the Royal Crypts instead of doing the Matt Mercer thing, where we then like RP the next 2 hours getting there.
Yeah, pretty much. I was not expecting you guys to fucking talk to a frog for that long.
Okay, we
lessons
zoom out
learned.
the building right now. Then
Honestly, what he's just trying to do is make us skip over shopping.
We
I
didn't
do,
actually
yes.
talk to the frog
We don't have
that long.
time to shop.
We spent as long outside as talking to the
That's
frog.
true. That's true. You guys are so great. Looking back at this fucking game, that's been my big takeaway. Is I'm like, yeah, there's a basilisk skull. Fucking 10 minutes of like, shit, we climb up there and fucking chisel to its teeth.
Can we have it?
Guy.
I mean, you put a giant skeleton in front of Monster Hunter A, Monster Hunter B, and Ooze and Ooze Shiny. Can I kill it?
Our next map is going to be like this blank canvas with a couple of arrows around
Yes.
this one object.
Seals-
Yeah.
Go here.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. Yeah.
real quick,
Red
so
X.
do we have a
Yeah,
hard stop in an hour 20, or do we have a little bit of leeway?
I'm good to go.
I'm good to go. I'm well rested.
I have a little
Good to
leeway.
go.
Ash?
I said good to go.
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
So fun story. So Steele knows this. Like DMing, you guys fixate on the tiniest fucking things.
They're
We're
fun.
great for that.
So yeah, like best example. Fuck,
Are you
how
gonna say
stars I'm
wild
just looking at
sword?
yeah, Vandersword,
Sword, yeah,
from Zecht Quest, was
Just a
actually just a thing on the fucking.
No, we know.
yeah.
So I'm hoping that if we focus on really dumb shit, eventually one of us will get a legendary weapon out of it.
Oh, cool. Hey, you know what? There's a fucking legendary dildo candle right here if you want to grab that.
Oh yeah, I'm all about that shit. Give me,
You add it to your
give me,
collection.
give me the stat sheet right now.
Yeah. I imagine that
Four
fucking.
over here.
Oh shit, there's so many goddamn dildo candles. God, look at me just fucking slightly changing the color palette for this place to make it look
Oh,
unique.
it's
Is
a
a Steel rules question?
Hmm.
Is anal count as a slot?
Wait, what?
Knock dildo candles.
Ooh. No,
It's like the
but
wrong
bludgeoning is
system,
a damage
Kaz.
type.
oh my god. All right, moving on.
Yeah. So, for my fucking Jonto tunes, isn't this like classic Super Nintendo RPG? I fucking love.
Yep, like Secret of Mana.
So really quick, you guys wind up in the basement here. You realize that there is, like you are rushing for time. Which of the two destinations was decided upon?
Crips first.
Okay. I'm gonna just quickly monologue here for a second. You're not fucking used to me doing it all the goddamn time. So outside the city, and as you go upstairs, you can see that there's like the proprietor there is talking about how every alignment for the candles of invocation is a different smell. Talks about how like this one is mistletoe, this one is grains of myrrh, this one is like the single tear from a deva or a mlamasu to kind of make these incredible candles. But he doesn't really pay a lot of attention as the six of you just stroll up from the basement, although the proprietors are certainly a little confused for a moment. And outside, the flags of the city are everywhere. They're less about pride, it feels like now, and more like a propaganda, where you can see that on every corner, it's listing the national motto. It says, "We are the gods between." And you get the impression that they're not really there by the owner's choice in most cases. So as you move through the city and the White Gold Market's a place that you remember fondly from when you were kids, you do come across a familiar sight. The mosaic from when you were kids, where people used to come and leave small little pieces of stone and materials to kind of mark pride and unity. Now that there's kind of new leadership in charge, it's become mandatory based on the signs that you're seeing and the guards who are standing nearby. And you can see that people over the last couple of years have brought like shards of colored glass that crack or break when you step on it, or chunks of obsidian that have been dyed with paint or berries that just turn black in the rain, or really sharp, jagged shards instead of round stones. So there's now a very fraying look to the mosaic, where the core is still bright and beautiful, but now the edges are black and jagged. And there's still a lot of the same people here. They're still selling Wolverine pelts and crystal Bahir hearts. That is, instead of you ingest this Bahir heart, you'll gain the power of such creatures. There's lots of people who are lining up to get in and out of the city. There's northerners who are a head higher than everybody else, muscled and weathered skin, beards, plaited hair, all the things that you would expect. You can always tell who they are because they're wearing claws or talons or bits of copper in their crazy manes. And there's somebody at the gates there, like as you're starting to make your way out the city and past the granite guards who are like 7.5, 8 feet tall in their suits of huge, bulky stone plate, where they're checking people's papers as they enter and leave the city. It feels a lot more militaristic here than it did before. And there's a guide who is shouting like, "Welcome travelers to the capital, city of abundance, looking for a guide, 5 coins a day, and I'm your new best friend. Maybe you'll seek in the temple of the many. Maybe you'll seek in an inn for the weary lady, a warehouse, a food hall, a tavern. I know it all. 5 gold pieces." And just, it has that vibe where like when you guys were kids, it felt magical. But now there's something about this that's kind of like London smog almost, where as you are walking through the city and heading outside, you walk past this magnificent stone statue where at the apex is like a simple looking woman with a pickaxe who is striking the stone. And you can tell that from the stone, there was going to be a stream of water, which was going to cascade down dozens of complex tunnels and fountains and waterfalls. And it's just this incredible architectural marvel, but it's dried up and inactive. And as you start making your way outside the city. There's like another group of adventurers who are walking past with tattered clothes and wounds. They're sort of supporting each other and progressing down to the local apothecary. There's couples are walking by bickering because the husband paid way too much at a local shop. And you go up paths that lead up rooftops and through cramped back alleys. Pretty soon you're outside the city proper. When it fucking loads here, my apologies. You travel through the woods for a little while, and even though it's the city is not far, everything here is well kept and are well kept and tended to. There's a couple of statues that you recognize immediately along the path before you go much deeper that do represent the four Ash-Tongue kings, with the Conqueror and the Architect and the Dragon Blessed, and then King Yolas Ash-Tongue IV, who unfortunately has just been referred to as the Peacekeeper at best. A lot of other much more slanderous names.
And a rabbit.
Yep, and a rabbit. And there's animals that are rustling through the woods. Who among you actually is wearing proper footwear for traveling long distances?
Hand up.
Yeah.
I would be as well.
I would likely be, yeah, because I travel. Yeah, I would likely be, yeah.
I don't walk.
No, I know. Your wings. You know,
Wait, is that a no?
If I get tired, just sit on somebody else.
Yep.
I would be wearing like walking boots.
You walk past an ancient tree that has like a face carved into it, where you can see that there's a spot in front of it where the grass has all been set down, where like children used to come and sit under it and tell stories a long time ago. It's a different time. And eventually you guys do see in the distance the Royal Crypt, and it is a very large, staggeringly impressive place where you start making your way up different ramps and stairs and trying to like ascend to what is kind of a temple out here in the middle of the woods. And there's a couple of weird creatures that you spot as you move through. They're like caterpillar-esque, but they're gray and disgusting and slug-like. And they're proboscis Thanos chins wiggle tentacles at you as you start making your way past. And then pretty soon you're at the sort of the entrance way proper, and you can see that there is a group of guards, like arms slung over one another's shoulders, basically pulling themselves away. One of them like shouts and stops. He goes, "Oh, travelers, no further. It's far too dangerous."
I put on my big boy voice. Not travelers, we're here on King's request.
Official orders, you might even say.
The guards look at a lot of you and say, "You're here to kill that thing, then?"
I
Yes.
mean, of course.
Hell yeah.
Have you not heard of us?
If it's standing in our way, then yes.
Turns and looks at you. No, who are you?
Are you familiar with the name Jam Dunk?
What?
What?
Don't
I do a
worry.
little pose behind Eerie.
There's like an
Yeah,
anime
yeah.
sound effect as you guys pose.
Just watch. You'll understand soon.
What was the name?
Jam Dunk.
Jam Dunk. I bent you with the slowest nod.
Yeah.
I have no words. I have no words. It is rare that I have no words.
They say if we can watch, we would appreciate it.
Are all your people okay?
They'll be fine. That thing moves quicker than it looks.
What can you tell us about it?
Most important question, what kind of creatures it look like? Yeah. What
You can
I just
he
said.
he puts a finger up and you can see it from here, and it's interesting because the building that it is sitting on top of is kind of like Aztec temple style. It's like a 2-story kind of very square building where this creature is plopped down on the top of it. Lots of legs, big squat caterpillar-esque creature that immediately Eerie, you recognize as being the larval form of that motherfucking butterfly. And it is this writhing, seemingly endless, segmented monstrosity sitting at the apex of this crypt, where its tiny mandibles are clacking excitedly as it spies you, and it has this gigantic, wicked tail spike that is beginning to emit a low hum. And you can see that its hide is plated and also covered with these jagged green spikes. Its yellow underbelly, green exterior, and around it are probably over about a dozen and a half of those same little gray Poupon-style worms. They're all four-eyed creatures that look like they're going to grow up into this exact same astral creature as well. And you know for certain that this is certainly an ageless monster. It is very clearly a very humble, like just regular motherfucking caterpillar that has grown into disproportionate size and violence because of the influence of the god's blood that touched it. And you are also aware that pretty much every one of these things has to be exterminated or it's going to turn into more. But they begin to like writhe and move towards you very, very slowly. But every time they like exhale out, you can see like poisonous spittle dripping from their, again, the proboscis style mouths.
Were they all infected by this god's blood?
It appears to have been this single centipede creature appears to have laid or has spawned dozens more of these.
Okay.
The front doors to the crypts are not closed or sealed; they are wide open. But you can tell immediately as you start to approach that with your treasure of the king's helmet within, somewhere deep beneath, you're going to have to get through this creature first. Go ahead and position yourself where the heck you would like. Let's roll.
Hell, when Steele said we're getting into it, he was not kidding.
Yeah, man, we're fucking right into it.
This is very
Eerie
pleasant
uses revenge.
initiative rolling music, I must say.
Dude, look at this sounds like you could go. It sounds like you could go hold one of the larva's hand and like stroll through the forest.
I feel like this is the music you play when you have a really tough time sleeping.
Like white noise almost, basically?
Yeah.
Are you guys set up?
Sorry, I had to read.
I have to find
restart the
initiative
play.
again. There it is.
You're set up positions-wise on the map?
Oh, yes.
I believe so.
I'm not yet. Sorry, 1 second.
Oh, that is not good, but I believe I have positioned myself correctly.
I think Steele was asking so he could have his position before he revealed.
Yeah, now let's all switch our stuff. So, like, go here and here. Yeah, let's go back in this far corner right over here.
Astral Who's the fucking stoned owl in the top left?
Yeah, he's just fucking
That guy
stoned
is
owlbear.
high on shrooms. Look at him.
Owlbear, man.
Look at that
Oh,
1,000
man.
yard stare.
What the hell is that?
So it was going to be, as you guys were on the way here, there was going to be a wounded owlbear that you guys would be able to like fucking tell to
Talk
fuck
with?
off the path, or alternatively like remove the fucking injury from its paw, and then find out that it's actually a super stoned fucking owlbear druid. And I was going to remove that off the map and make it an enemy if you guys had failed to help him. But, you know, fuck it. We didn't have time for that shit. So he's just a goddamn stoned-ass hanging out owlbear. He's not participating in this fight.
So what you're saying is we would have spent another 2 hours talking to the owl.
Oh my
man.
god, yeah.
Yeah, we would have. Yeah.
Listen, we need to rewind and do this RP because the owlbear will be our best friend. I will write it.
I love
Is it your
that.
spirit animal?
I love that every time that someone stops to rip a piece off of what was essentially a set piece along the way, Steele is just sitting there tearing up phone books of content that he's editing out.
Not
You know, like
more time for this.
yep. Glad I wrote this book of poetry. They'll never see.
Friends, TikTok. We've only 36 hours.
Oh, that is true.
No, the worst one is actually like when people ignore stuff that you've written. It's not as bad as when people fixate on shit that you have nothing written for.
All right, what are music?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Let me go ahead and pop on some music here, guys.
This is too relaxing. I need my blood to boil.
That says my dick use harden.
The Astropede, like, prepared and excited that you can see that there's more challengers entering the fray, gets up on its, like, just its front part of its body is holding it up so that its entire tail is up and behind it with, like, the stinger out. And that is its turn. Saigar,
Why is it my turn?
it is your turn.
I think it's
It's
Erie's,
Erie's
no?
turn.
It's my turn.
I see Saigar at 21.
I'm at 13.
Oh, I see you at 21 for some reason. My
He
apologies.
has,
Yeah.
he has.
Yuri,
You
go ahead.
didn't clear. No, he's Erie's next with 19.
I was doing a test battle here previously.
Ah,
Okay then, so I will.
oh God, it's the guard scorpion from Final Fantasy VII.
I'm gonna drop AoE right there.
Seems horrifying.
It's just a well, not augmented.
And where is it hitting?
Just those two at the bottom.
Just these two at the bottom. Well, goodbye to both of them.
And then I will use my move action for some pixie dust on Morgaine.
Fly away!
6 spaces.
6 spaces of flight.
Loop, loop.
And I will end my turn.
Perfect. Just a message off people who have a high enough passive perception score. And then it is, in fact, Warren's turn.
At the start of my turn, even if the guards aren't necessarily here, I call it. The most important thing about ageless is they look scary, but they're actually just big creatures. Whatever you know about caterpillars is pretty useful.
They
And I-
nod and they pull out notepads and start writing in their legal size 5x8s.
I will dash up here and use the get some slime on the blade and oops. Yeah, no, release the slime on the blade to spin out and use that to cut through their hide.
Oh my.
So I'm not normally that strong. But the red and
Yeah.
blue.
That'll do it. Fuck.
And I don't know if it'll matter, but I'll use I think I'm in range. Yeah, I'll use a minor action to mark that bottom red one right here.
Sounds good.
Ends my turn.
Cool. Then I've got Eerie listed again. Is it Kyvius' turn?
It's my turn.
Saigar's turn.
Fuck. I think Kyvius for me.
I think because you cleared me completely from your turn order.
That's all right. That's all right. That's all right.
You
Yes,
are
I got it.
fucked up.
So, team, something that I
Oh,
noticed. there's
you
many
downgraded
grooves
them
in the
from
ground.
friends?
Yo, there's one that is 3 squares away from me. Can you fix that?
Before I do that, my friend, there are a lot of grooves in the ground here. I think we should be careful with this creature. I think it is capable of moving a lot faster than we think it is capable of. Just be warned. I'm going to use my dual arrow shot and take out. I fired at this one here and this one here.
Got it.
I can only get to my character sheet. 1 second, sorry.
Oh yeah, no worries.
I like to imagine the way Morgaine is looking down at that blue is like a dare. Like, come on, move out of my range.
Walk away from me, motherfucker. Do it.
I mean, they're gonna probably try. You're fucking 4 people who are like, cool, we start our fight at this position. We're not moving. Like, we live here now. Have since about the fucking range on a bow. This is fine.
Okay, so I fired my shots.
Ooh, you know what? Actually, both of those do hit, although just barely. And in fact, these 2 grublings also eat shit.
Okay, I end my turn.
And then Kyvius.
All right, I think we're going to try and get ourselves a little closer here. So I am going to take a little jaunt right up here next to Warren, and then flip around, and we're going to Eldritch Blast this guy right here.
Look at this guy with his single target attack.
I know, right? It's a little depressing, but I'll do my work when the big guy comes into range.
Woof.
Hmm.
That's a big boy.
Yes, I like I said, I've got work to do. It's just not on these little ones right here.
Yeah, this was like a clearly like a newborn one where it's like rah, and like opens its mouth. You know what? No, hang. Look at this, Benji. This is the little fucking cute face he makes where he's like, da, da, and you just fucking Eldritch Blast that motherfucker right down his throat.
Sorry,
Oh my god!
I needed to use you.
Separate.
I needed to use you so I could do this, and he all of a sudden Kyvius dissipates into like a silvery mist.
Ooh, I love it.
And like you see his form kind of zoop, flow right over here, and reform, and his outline is a little bit hazy. You kind of he's a little shadowy, kind of hard to like pin down his exact location.
And Morgie.
I'm going to shift here, and then because I was smart with my movement, roll. Oh no, that's not what I wanted to roll. What? I'm confused. Just a second here.
Yeah, no worries. What?
Is that the right- What? How is that? That's not at all what it's written. I'm
Did you,
trying to
copy
use-
and paste from one ability to another,
Might have.
and then you
That
just
might be
forgot
what's
to
going
change
on.
it
What was the power you're trying to use?
from the other one.
The armored assault. I think it was.
Yes. So remember when you are when we are doing it, we're changing that the in description every single time it'll be like a power 3 attack or defense, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just fixing that really quick. My apologies.
Yeah. Great.
Fine.
We're just gonna fucking chill out to this completely unique music that I composed myself.
With a
Mhm.
synthesizer.
I found out, but while we're waiting, I found out why the music doesn't play. So you know how the audio gets fucked up on Roll20 and I have to use, or the
Yeah.
audio gets fucked up on stream and I have to use the hack so people can still hear. It's the hack. When desktop audio is working correctly, the audio from Roll20 goes out over stream, but when I have to use the silly little hack, for some reason the audio from my browser is the only thing not captured. Even though it's in my headphones, it's not going out over stream anymore.
Okay.
So I have to
Let's
figure
see
out
if
what's
this works.
causing that. Yeah.
Okay, that one doesn't have a value selected. Fun.
Just click on your
What-
character first, I think.
Okay, let me try that again.
Yeah, if it doesn't work with the macro, it should be able to work from. Oh, hey.
That looks better.
Better.
But better.
Yeah, and then I guess I just roll it again for my second attack. So first one's on the blue one if it hits, and then
That's
second
a
one.
hit. Yeah.
Okay, need to select my character. Or second attack.
Jesus. All right. I don't know why I was looking at these being like, that's too many minions. I don't know if you guys are able to handle it.
I love that. Please, this is not a criticism. I love that you guys left this here. After explicitly after Jay said something, I feel like it was on
Yeah.
purpose. Because it's its turn next.
I
Is
thought
that your turn, Morgan?
I thought she told you to take care of it.
I shifted and then hit, so that's my turn.
Okay. Cool. These things, 5, 10, 15, 20, you know, they have just enough movement. They do, in fact, both sidle up to Shay, and with one on each side of you, it's very difficult to defend effectively against. And both of them do, in fact, lash out aggressively at you.
Flanking.
Does as they do, like they're basically just like little shots of poison spray. Does 14 and 15 hit your reflex?
Nope.
Yeah, you fucking nimbly dodge out of the way, no problem. This one again, same thing for Warren.
Oh, he attacked me. Asshole.
And then one of them does the same thing. That's 2 points of poison damage for Warren.
Yep.
17 versus reflex hit Kyvius.
Reflex. So not
Reflex.
Not AC,
my partial
reflex.
cover. My partial cover only affects my AC, right?
It actually affects everything.
Oh.
Yeah.
So that means my reflex is technically 16. So yes, that hits.
With the poison damage, it doesn't fucking matter whether or not I hit or miss Morgan. But even if I did, because he's immune to poison damage, but it just sprays poison mist in your face before trying to like crawl up your metal hide. Also, I did the wrong one. That was supposed to be the red ones and not the blue ones. But that's fine. Warren, it's your turn. That's it.
It's
My turn.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm the worst. I don't know why it's got on here.
Your tracker's not even close.
I'm not even remotely close. No.
Yeah, it's pretty wrong. You dicks! I'm going to so like you know that scene in Civil War when like Robert Downey Jr. is about to fight like the Winter Soldier and like he pulls out like the glove and it's just like the one, you know, like single glove that like blocks the bullet.
I don't watch movies.
Spoilers.
You don't watch films. Whatever. Anyway, like a small like glove is going to like appear on my hand and like I'm gonna do the against the one on the right of me. Do this.
Oh my. Hey, I'm with you.
So does it
You're
damage it?
clarifying. You're hitting yourself.
Well, I'm casting it on myself so that the
Right.
lightning arcs off of me to it.
Got it. Yeah. Okay. That does a hit.
So the one on the right takes 9 damage,
Yeah. Got it. It is dead. Absolutely.
and then
But this is the one that was going to that you're like, don't let it get me.
we've still got the other one though.
Yeah.
But now I have +1 AC. And then as a minor action, I'm going to, with the other hand, shoot Kyvius.
With
No,
what and
scratch that. I'm gonna shoot Warren.
It's a minor action.
Yeah, you're gonna watch me load. Happy ending with this. It's gonna be a colorful shell.
Oh.
And you're gonna feel like poison damage can't hurt you.
As you fucking poison him. Yeah, fucking Warren just takes the needle in the butt.
Yeah, so like right in the butt. Like so, you have resist 5 to poison until the end of the encounter.
Yeah.
But as an immediate like free action, you can become immune to a single hit.
So that works
But
like
it
that.
ends-
That 1/5.
But
it nullifies the effect afterwards, basically, right?
Right.
Yep.
Still
Like,
cool.
like
Got it.
consumable. Okay.
Really neat. Cool.
Absolutely.
The blue one wiggle as best they can. One of them to you.
So the
Yeah,
boss-
2 poison damage.
It's
You
boss
take
is
nothing.
turn according to the tracker right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the blue ones you cannot see because the one that had its on the tracker is dead. You're just gonna have to trust me.
Yeah, I let the goo like burn over and go into the arm some.
Yeah, absolutely you do. You're like, yeah, more.
Yeah, you feel the thing that like I imagine that like off your ass you've got like a syringe just kind of hanging.
And then you watch as this astropede, like, it curls itself up into a ball, and with incredible speed launches itself pinball-esque, like, off the top of the building here, and straight towards both Kyvius and Warren in a straight line between you both.
Oh my god! Speaking of the new Sonic the Hedgehog movie.
I tried to tell you guys.
So, as it moves through both of you, Kyvius, you can make a melee basic attack if you would like. But it is a huge, ridiculous amount of damage for being like after the speech of like, hey guys, we're gonna do a lot of like little fights, blah. If 20 hits your reflex, it's 19 points of damage, reduced by 5 for every opportunity attack that hits it on the way.
It would hit me, but as
Probably.
it's coming and there's so much, I've spent so much time fighting Ageless that part of me kicks in and there's that little bit of feral instinct.
Oh, damn.
And that raises my reflex to 22.
Shit.
Oh, nice.
Like how it's AC and reflex specifically.
Yeah, reflex specifically.
So I have
Cool.
I have a rules question.
Yeah.
So the free action that I get from my this is fourth ed versus fifth. Is your reaction like, do I take an opportunity attack and I can use my Infernal Wrath, or can I only choose to use is it or?
So it is you get one reaction on your turn, which you can use either one. You're right.
Okay, so it's opportunity attack or Infernal Wrath.
Correct, yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to use Infernal Wrath instead because I think.
Before you make that assessment, really quick reminder, because it's moving, it's actually going to go one square further here. It's going to provoke an opportunity attack from Warren. So you can go ahead and make that now if you've got a melee basic attack that you can use, Warren. I don't know what your deal is.
I do. It's not good.
Okay. And Kyvius, if you have a melee basic attack, you could use that as well. But I think you took Eldritch Blast instead of Eldritch Strike, which is like a ranged basic attack, and you've got no way of using that particular ability. But if you have like a staff you wanted to hit it with, you could do that instead. And if you were to hit the target, it would throw off the spin and reduce the damage somewhat. It's up to you which of those two you prefer. But again, we're talking like hard chitinous plates on this thing. Very unlikely to injure it if you're not actually trained in like martial.
Okay. I guess I'm a little bit confused.
Yeah. So this particular attack is as it like comes launching towards you at full speed, it's going to try to bowl over both of you.
So
because
so are you
not
saying
shifting?
Okay.
But provokes opportunity attacks as it moves as part of the attack.
So in other words, I can't use my Infernal Wrath because I technically haven't been attacked yet as I'm doing my like basic
you
attack.
can do either one, absolutely. But I wanted to say, just to be totally clear, also be aware that if you were to hit the target as it moves, it would reduce the damage that it dealt to. Part of this mechanic is if you hit it, that attack just does 5 less damage to everybody along the way.
Right. So I'm definitely going to use my Infernal Wrath because that just hits.
Okay. So you're going to take 19 points of... Oh, yeah, no, you know what? That counts. That'll work. Yeah. Okay. That's fair. Fucking okay.
And that will also reduce it for Warren as well, right?
It will. It misses Warren, but are you going to take an opportunity attack, Warren?
Yeah.
Oh, did you see that fucking big jump of the health dropping 19 fire damage?
Oh, yeah.
I actually don't see the
does
bar.
not hit its AC. It's at the very top there.
Oh, right. I moved to the
just to add...
Girl, put it back.
A little description. Instincts of the Ageless sounds really cool, but the way Warren dodges is more like he like jumps and like full spread eagle falls onto the ground. It's not graceful, and he kind of like at the caterpillars it swipes by, which definitely doesn't pierce its hide.
Gotcha. So Kyvius, you take 14 points of damage and are knocked prone. Standing up from prone is a move action that provokes opportunity attack. And then the Astropede takes 14 points of damage as well, which I'm going to adjust here in just a split second. very, very end of its turn, seeing Eerie and Saigar and Shay lined up, you watch as the angle of this creature turns, preparing for its next sweep.
Oh shit.
Eerie.
Move action. I shift down 1 square. Then, yeah, I'm just gonna do this.
Oh, are we doing it daily in the first combat?
Give him the dunk.
I am not a fan of these things.
Yeah, no, he's a fucking immobilized. 22 versus Fortitude, fucking yeah, he is.
Okay, now let me measure.
Okay. God damn it.
What are you measuring?
He's fucking gonna start throwing this goddamn thing around like a fucking pinball.
Oh my god.
Question:
For the one he threw into the barrel, yeah, he's an actual target now. What's your question?
can I throw it up?
Yeah, absolutely you can.
So I want to throw it up in an arc, so it'll land on the one next to Morgaine.
I think if you're gonna throw up, we're gonna lose accuracy.
Okay.
You could go like basically straight up, or it could land in a random spot. But if you wanted to have it hit another creature, you'd have to really focus on like straight across the ground hit.
Okay, we'll just go straight across the ground first then. Alright. So just straight into these squares right here, attacking this guy.
All right, cool. So it takes another 7 points of damage, and
Yeah,
is
and
knocked
they're both
prone.
knocked prone. And it's also immobilized.
Oh, good. Well, fucking, that's fantastic. I'm gonna go ahead and have you move out of those squares here. Then, move to like an adjacent square.
Let's move him down one.
Yeah, which put him here.
Oh shit! Whoa!
Yeah. All right. Well, that's fine.
That ends my turn.
Hey, you do me a favor. Does Eerie do anything, or is it just like, nah, fuck all of this, and just throw this thing?
Just like backhanded here.
Just a little wave of the hand and just a scowl.
I imagine you did like the Cartman like tee thing.
I get excited. I give a whoop, and in that same voice I yell, and Bo's wondering about our name. That's the dunk.
Yeah, one of the fucking guards pulls out a Polaroid and snaps a picture.
There's camera technology.
Yeah, this guy does. Death of the curve.
All right, cool. We're gonna
Pixma Smart Max or whatever.
we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna cut these dudes next to us open.
Yep.
Although this time I
Nice.
let one of the pieces fall into the arm and kind of start nomming it as I
Dissolving,
run past. I'll use the movement to actually. I can't really. I'll just mark the. I got a free minor. I'll just mark the big guy for now.
Got it.
Does it look like there's any way up there?
Not
That guy.
easily. You could like
No, yeah.
athletics check, like climb up
Nope.
maybe. Or the vines would, yeah, same thing, but it's still going to require a check. There's no staircase up.
Okay, instead I just kind of run over to be over here.
Like,
And,
man, I wish I was in the Ladrin.
Yeah, right. Ends my turn.
Move here.
Okay.
Kill the one next to me.
Shay, focus your attack on the
Uh,
main.
I go ahead
main
and
boss.
as you move away, this one, like, it does spin over and just attempts to do its very best to splash some poison as you runs past, but you're, again, way too quick.
Okay, I'm going to fire 2 arrows, and I whisper to Shay, Shay, take care of the boss. Take care of the large enemy. I'll take care of the 2 minions.
I'll handle the ads.
I'll handle the ads.
He'll kite the ads.
Sago, I didn't know you'd been on Epitaph before. You're talking like you're from there.
This is which of the 2 you're aiming for? I'm sorry.
The one right beside Shay and the one beside Warren.
They disintegrate.
I imagine that there is some poison that like splashes onto Shay's shoe. And also some poison that splashes into like Warren's hair, and he just like scoops it up with his arm. Very different reactions.
Saiga, these are designer shoes.
You asked me to take care of it for you.
Warren is like, fondue!
Anything else?
That's my action. That's my turn, sorry.
Standing up is a move action, but beyond that, you are good.
Yeah.
I love
So-
fucking prone animation.
I am gonna stand up with my tears.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stand up, and I'm gonna brush myself off, and be like, "Oh right, that was definitely a thing. Yuri, that thing is immobilized, right? How long is this
Yep.
gonna last for?"
Yep.
Not actually lying.
Oh right, yes, I'm so happy to be fighting with a fairy. So we're gonna infernal wrath him.
That seems great.
Oh no, not for us. I'm sorry, no, not that. That's my. We're gonna witch fire him. My bad.
Oh, all right.
Oh, so
And
you've
I
got
already
two kinds of fire.
Yes. 11.
Does not actually hit his reflex, although it's very close and it should be lower because he's prone. But
Okay. Then what we're gonna do is we are going to move 3 spaces. And he when he was knocked down and he stood up, he had solidified. But as he kind of moves along the grass, his form starts to kind of waver all over again, and starts to take on that kind of ethereal quality. It just gets a little hazy, and that's my turn.
this
Are
fucking
you-
poor thing,
Are you insubstantial?
If
partially.
yeah.
Ooh.
It's like a little bit. He's like,
just a little bit insubstantial.
all the way substantial. He's just like a little insubstantial after a few drinks.
Just a bit.
Just a little insubstantial.
I get better.
So, as Morgaine has been knocked back by the force of this monster slamming into the wall, he sort of gets back to his feet quickly, wiping away the slime that was the grub that was in front of him. And he
Yep.
sees the giant monster on the ground, just starts hacking into it. Oh, always forget to click my thing.
Defensive parry.
You fucking like bring weapon down into the side of this creature, but it's really hard to find anywhere to actually like secure your blade, unfortunately.
Even with
And
the +2.
Even with the +2, no, unfortunately. You like manage to bring it down its hide and like cut through chitin, but like you can't really get purchase for anything in the squishy interior.
But that miss sort of cements into its primal instincts that maybe this isn't someone to be taken lightly, and it's marked.
Damn right it is.
For you? Or
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd rather
Superseding
have his
wilds.
than mine. He can stop it from moving.
The grubbling takes a turn and
no, I do.
No, the grubbling takes a turn and moves away.
Oh,
And then-
grubbling. Grubbling. Sorry.
The grumbling's running away.
There's one left.
Remember what they said at the beginning of the encounter, though, right? Like if these
We
get
gotta take
away,
it out.
they'll make
Yeah,
more.
We gotta take it out.
Sounds like a Saigar problem.
He has got
you
Hawkeye.
said you were doing the ads.
It's true.
Shay, is the plan.
All right, I'm gonna pull Chastity out
Mhm.
from between my tits,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna
As one
shoot.
does.
I'm gonna shoot acid bullet.
Woof. So it doesn't take as much acid damage as you were perhaps expecting, But yeah, certainly the burrowing bullet just like through the chitinous hide of the creature, and you can see that it shoots out the other side. Shay is, we talked about during this game where we're like, oh, you know what? Hit point damage isn't going to mean actual hit point damage. I'm not going to be like, cool, you're run over by a fucking Colossus bust centipede, take 10 points of damage. It's going to be like, more feints and parries in some point in time. Yeah, fucking Shay throws that shit away because every shot is always these big lethal looking bursts. This particular case, again, it certainly burrows into the hide of this creature, and you can see that it begins to ooze its interior.
Hey, Morgaine, Warren, hit the melty point.
Got it.
All right.
The what? As there's like ooze on his face.
Oh, shit, right. Forget I said melt.
So without being able to do anything else because it cannot move and it can't really get its tail spike over to where Morgaine is located on its prone position, it sort of just like tilts its head up and over so that you've got this centipede head about a foot above yours, and its big mandible jaws snap at your skull. Pretty sure that's a hit.
Let's see. Sorry.
Let's see, he says.
Yes, it is a hit.
Yeah. You can tell that if there was any grubblings around, they would be like enthused by the combat prowess of this ageless creature. But as it stands, you basically have just like a single mandible scrape across the top of your head, and you're like, nope, and you just jump back a little bit. And at the end of its turn, it's gonna make its saving throws to try to end some of these effects. So this is the immobilize. Yeah.
Oh, and it's out.
It's actually, well, it can't stand up from prone yet because its turn is over. But certainly, yeah, next turn for sure. If it gets one. Because look whose round it is.
As a reminder, it has -2 AC.
It does indeed.
That'd be great if I ever attacked AC.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
How's that will
Then
save?
We're gonna spend 2 points.
Ooh. You're going fucking hard, Eerie.
I mean, I get them back every fight.
I know, but still.
And we're just gonna hit it with one of these.
Oh yeah, no, just one of those. Yeah, no. So you actually can tell that, like, despite the fact that this creature, you might not strike you as one of the most intelligent species, but as you start invading its mind and start like mussing around with its combat attacks, the way that you've often done, sort of work well with Warren in the past, you can tell that the ageless mind of this creature is actually very highly defensible and very complicated. Not enough to resist you, of course, but you can clearly tell it takes a little bit more effort. So it takes, what, 16 damage? -3 penalty?
16 damage, yeah. 16 damage,
Goodness.
and it takes a -3 to the rest of its attack, or the attacks until the end of my next turn.
Fantastic. And then Warren is your go. Unless Eerie's got more bullshit to put on me.
Nah, I don't have a minor action right now. I mean, I do, but it's okay. That's the end of my turn.
So
All right.
I want to just really quickly, a side note, the fucking status effect icons on this thing right now, I'm going to take away the immobilized ones.
There's a bunch of them.
There's the ones that just stack to remind me of how bullshit its weakened defenses and attacks are. I've got like 4 of them that look like that shit.
Speaking of which, we're gonna use
Are you really?
illusion to reduce its attack some more. I hope.
Jesus. This is what I was fucking talking about. Yeah, no, right?
Oh man, you and I both rolled real low on those.
I don't do much damage, but no, I sort of like create a duplicate of Morgaine sort of striking it, and I don't know. In my
I don't know, fucking
turn.
whatever. You just like pretend to hit it or whatever. Who cares? No, you got this shit.
So it's at a -5.
There's just -5. There's
-7
just
if it hits anyone but me.
Warren is flickering around. You can tell that like Eerie is Dr. or Professor Xing its brain right now. Saiger's like, well, I've got arrows though.
Can I just, as a small little part of it, make a feeble attempt to try and get up these branches?
Absolutely. Athletics check that shit. Difficulty 13.
That wouldn't be so bad for other people.
Ooh, get that shield though. Oh man, that's looking good.
You just kind of like
He-
leap and
You
fall.
have
He
a
falls on his
minus
ass.
3?
-2 from the shield, -1 from the armor,
Oh
minus
Gold.
my
1 from my stats.
Yeah, anytime you hear you make an athletics check, that is a bold move for you.
So
isn't
I
it?
like grab it with one arm and I like do 1/4 of a pull up and I just and I look down to see if I've gained any height. And
Wizards.
yes. Sagar's turn.
Warren, let me try, my friend.
I'll get up there. Just give me a moment.
I'm going to move into this spot.
No, Saigot, just shoot it, please.
He's trying to catch
Here.
the.
I've got to take out. I've got to take out the other one. I cannot shoot it from here. I'm assuming, Seal, I don't have line of sight to this thing, right?
You sure don't, and I don't think you're gonna have line of sight at the end of your movement either.
If I jump up to the top, I could.
That's gonna be like that's your double movement though. You're not gonna be able to get anywhere past that for your turn.
He'll still be able to see it.
The athletics check counts as a movement?
So you started like here, right?
No, I started 6 squares away from where I'm right now.
Right. And your attempt to climb up here and move 6 more squares is your second movement. Second part of your
If
turn.
I just do a jump up the top, like
Nope.
just right here,
No, you have to make a move action to climb up there, to attempt to climb up. So you've got a standard left over. You can go ahead but you can't be on the same square as Wild if you end your turn. But you can go ahead and either make an attack roll, or you can turn your movement or your attack into a movement to get further up.
It's not on the list anymore. Where is that creature's
Moves
initiative?
right before Shay.
Moves
Oh,
before
I'm sorry.
Shay.
Yeah, it's right before Shay, right after Morgaine.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to hit that thing. I'm gonna shoot the boss.
Someday we'll learn like what your encounter powers and stuff. Too. I'm really excited. But until
Yeah,
then,
that's true.
wind shot, baby. You know what? Neither of those would hit were it not for the fact that Shay has. Neither of those would hit were it not for the fact that Shay had already provided like an extremely obvious bullseye for both of your arrows to fly towards. The first one does certainly hit.
Get him.
Okay, it's my turn.
Second one kind of ricochets off and bounces off into a nearby tree, and you have a minor flashback of like, I should aim one arrow, I feel like that.
Ludicrous.
No shade at all. Yeah, my turn's done.
I'm beginning to dislike bugs as much as Eerie does.
Oof.
And I just...
Just like a single shot, just like collect energy in the finger and Dragon Ball Z single key palm blast him.
And then, yeah, just a little shadowy, shifty right 3 squares over here.
I always imagine there's like a close-up shot on your character where like there's this black eldritch energy that's glowing in your hand and reflecting off of your sunglasses in your face.
Yeah. We'll
Cool.
do the whole which anime is it? Where I'll just do the glasses push, the anime glasses push.
Oh, thank
Oh, yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Just one finger, push them up on the nose,
Yep.
and yeah.
Yeah.
Game. What's the play?
I want to hit it in the face.
Bold move, fighter. See how it plays out for you. Yeah, I'll do it.
So I'm just gonna keep on hacking into this hide as best I can.
This one you finally connect purchase, and Morgaine, again, moving with more like speed and determination than you would expect of a Warforged of his size. He plants the blade in like the side of the creature and just makes it like 4 or 5 steps, just dragging it along with his very significant annealed, and just parts of this creature begin to spill out, and you can see that its interior is that same golden hued color as the blood from Memnon. And there's a Grubling who is going to slither away into the underbrush. And then let's see if Shay can keep up her habit of murdering all animals. It has 7 hit points.
Finish her. Finish it.
Remember
Alright.
that you also get the benefit of Acid Bullet on your own turn, too.
Yeah.
I think that does it.
So I'll empty the clip from Chastity, and I'll like use one of like those like quick load pins that drops like 6 clips into the chamber, and just give it a quick spin and just bang 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 bang. All
Walk
of that.
forward while you do it, firing the entire time.
Yeah,
Do that attack roll. Oh, is that magnet shot? You already did that?
I already did it.
Oh, well, fuck, it's already done then. Fucking...
Okay.
You're describing its death. My apologies. Please continue.
And like the acid has like started to like eat away at like its chitin, and it's just like you're just watching like chunks just like fly off in like the various parts that she's hitting with shots. Obviously like Morgaine kind of gets like a little like some goo splash along with like Warren and Saigar. But like it just like the bullets just cruise through its armored plating.
It might... Go ahead.
No?
I when I jumped in for a split second there, and I wasn't going to interrupt them. No, just me? Okay, cool. It might not have seemed a big deal to you, because this was a very, very young ageless, as both Warren and Neri would tell you. This is something that was very deeply out of its element. But it is certainly a creature that, had it been given opportunity to sort of fight back basically at all, as Kaigas would attest to, had the capability to do some very serious harm to the group as a whole. And I don't know necessarily if the group realizes until basically the fight is over, how incredibly effectively this fight was actually handled, where there is almost no injury sustained anywhere in the group, no important injuries anywhere, and pretty quickly
Just half my health.
the creature like flails its legs for a little, and the light fades from its eyes. And the guards that were standing behind you rush forth and just like let out like a whoop of exultation. Promise they're gonna tell you, like they're gonna go back to High Helm and fucking tell people about this. Who are you people? You said like what, Jam Dunk?
No! Not.
No.
Me and area Jam Dunk. They're
We
friends.
need a new name, my friend.
Do we have a name?
You can hear the sound of just like something happening on the other side of the building. You can see like Erie's double kind of comes floating back as there's the sound of just like sizzling flesh.
My friends, what about the fire-breathing rubber duckies?
Good.
Can I shoot you?
You know, it's
No.
epitaph tradition, not
Listen,
any
listen, soldier. Why don't you go back and tell your boss or whoever you want to tell that you did a very good job today.
You mean that?
Yeah, you were instrumental
You did a
in,
very
in
good
slaying-
job today.
in slaying this creature.
I think it would be best for the morale of your people and for High Helm to think. Yeah,
That you emerged triumphant.
absolutely.
They look at each other shocked by this, and certainly do agree. They don't leave without getting each of your names, and you can very clearly tell that even though High Helm is going to hear that this creature was certainly slayed by the King's Royal Guard and sort of the town militia themselves, there are certainly going to be people within the military who are aware of what the truth is going to be, and your names are going to begin to circulate. Each of you, in addition to like the fucking prestige you get for killing an ageless creature, are also going to go ahead and, because of that very unexpected action, go ahead and add 1 legacy to your character sheet under the skill section.
Fantastic.
I would like to say, just as the legacy point is going in, the part for Warren is after congratulating the guards whenever he shoves the goo hand face first through the caterpillar.
Yeah.
Starts to like
While-
eat part
while-
of it.
While you're doing that, I'm 2 things. I would like to try and extract its blood and the stinger with the poison.
So one of the things that that you quickly discover is that the stinger, whilst it seems interesting, it's something that is of much greater interest to Warren, where it was never really, you had never had the opportunity to see it, but the way that it was going to like superheat just the air around the tail and be able to sort of slash out at people in a group in sort of Zoro-y fashion fills Warren's mind as he's able to sort of extract this creature's last sort of thoughts and breaths. The main thing that you realize, Shay, is that it's not the blood of this ageless creature that is the true value, although you certainly do take some of that, and we'll talk about that later. Nor its tail, which is not sort of the key component. But you realize that these creatures, the much smaller versions of them, weave an astral silk that is useful predominantly in crafting bags of holding. And if you'd be willing to go ahead and give me a craft check as well, we'll see if you're able to extract any of that.
Ooh.
Wow.
Be able
Oh,
to extract any,
two-
huh?
Sorry, the craft check was
Can-
30.
Oh,
Can he pull out
I'm
a
sitting
fully
there-
formed bag
I'm
of
sitting there-
holding?
I'm sitting there like I've got like it's whatever the fuck, what's it called, the thing that it secretes the silk from. I'm just like spooling.
So, so you know this because of the extreme amount that you would receive. You could actually do two things with it. Normally, you don't be enough to like get like a much smaller pocket of holding, but because of how phenomenally you succeeded on that, you could absolutely go ahead and craft this into a full bag of holding, or you could do a pair of enchanted silk boots and a much smaller pocket of holding, and we'll talk about that later on.
What did the silk boots do?
We'll talk about that later on.
Ooh.
Could we extract anything like the mandibles or the fangs?
Anyway, put the
Yeah,
put that-
fucking take that bug shit.
put that astral silk in my hand.
Shay.
We have ended up with a group that is basically like destroying creature corpses.
Yeah, we ransack corpses,
Zygar,
right?
Listen.
Zygar takes
Innocent people off the
Listen.
table, but we fucking take the skin off their fucking clothes.
Fucking Benji last game was like, loot the corpses. You guys have taken it to a fucking extreme.
Right now, it's like that scene from
No,
Game
no,
of
hold
Thrones
on.
where
I need
where
to know its
no,
genealogy, Steel. What do we
listen,
roll for that?
listen. Right now, I am Tywin Lannister just peeling like the skin off the creature.
No, listen. There's a reason. There's a method to my madness. Is there a way to extract the poison? Because I would like to make like poison arrows in the future, for example.
It was not. That is a very good thought. You can also go ahead and roll your craft skill. It's something that you had to have to do independently. Shay couldn't do this on your behalf.
Okay. My crafting skill is garbage, so this is not
That's
going to work
okay.
very well.
Yeah.
You get a
We're gonna
natural-
call this one 15. In fact.
I'm gonna say he gets a 18.
Wow,
that
you
was
were
close.
very close. You fucking gave the gift.
Foundling.
Listen. Shay is the craft giver.
You are not trained in the use of applying poison to arrow tips. You know that there would be a very significant risk that is possible that if you wanted to take some of this poison with you, you might in fact poison yourself. However, given the fact there's a corpse right here, you could certainly go ahead and sort of just dip your poison arrows into the corpse of this thing. I would allow you to then just go ahead and get the benefits just for the next fight on all of your shots, or you could try to do something more long-term at the risk of poisoning yourself.
I think I'll just do the short-term one.
No, dear. Dip the arrows here.
Where you're standing?
I feel like Shay would kind of try and observe what Zygar's trying to do and be like, no, listen, I know what you're trying to do.
He
All
just
right.
meant it as an RP thing.
All right, here we go. And I kind of viciously stab at the piece of my arrow.
He's just like,
like Drax and
Fucking
it, like,
puncturing this thing.
yeah, like Drax.
yeah.
An idea occurs to me. Just, I'm sorry, I did not get to carve up the monster.
Oh no!
Yeah,
Take your turn.
no, but I'm sorry. I did have all of a sudden I had a terrible idea, and I'm just wondering, Shay, if you have any extra. I wouldn't have any bottles or containers on me like some of you guys would. I'm just wondering if you could get an extra container of the blood for me to use for an idea that I have that is absolutely terrible.
Can I attempt to extract more blood? And
So
I'm gonna say poison. I'm gonna say poison as well.
all right, so listen, I love you guys fucking ripping this thing to shreds.
Mhm.
Actually extracting ageless touch blood is very, very difficult. If that was sort of your core intention, you definitely could have done that. Before we were like ripping into silk and like severing open its poison sacs and dipping arrows in and so forth and so on. Ageless blood is a very complicated thing to actually get because it's really just like a single drop in the bloodstream that causes these things to become these huge, like massive creatures. That's why when you guys were back in the car, Memnon would take dozens of these huge ageless corpses to like pour into the pool whenever I couldn't just pour.
And then it was the
like,
Serothian.
the Serothian and massive amounts of blood just to get a couple of drops. You would have to have some kind of setup in the same kind that they did, where you're basically going to be bathing in just fuckloads of blood. You get a
How did
couple
you
of
read
drops
my
of these
fucking
things.
mind?
So, Kyvius,
Yes, sorry. I'm
What?
kind of flabbergasted that he read my mind just now.
you want the ageless blood, don't you?
It was.
Guys, I know this is interesting, but we're on a timetable.
Oh, we
here.
are. Well, we'll talk and walk. We can talk and walk. It was an idea. I got a lot of
Right.
information out of my last experience, and I was thinking maybe it could only be helpful if I could recreate the circumstances. But you know what? We're on a clock. I already know where we got to head, so I'll think about it another way.
Look, we have a job to do.
We'll talk about this later.
Yeah,
Have to
no,
go.
most of the work for me happens afterwards. It takes a while to.
Inwards and onwards.
Oh, that's right. We still got to go get a thing. Let's go.
we got to
How
go
much
in
time did that
quick.
battle take?
Oh god, that was over quickly. That was
Oh,
I think
okay.
like 6 minutes.
Okay, so
So it was
we're
an hour
so it was an hour travel here.
That
Okay,
leaves about 33 hours left.
so we're making good time. So
They're
okay,
making great time.
okay.
We're here for the Conqueror's Crown of King Yolis Ashton III, and it should be in his antechamber.
Let's
Absolutely
go.
correct.
Let's get inside this tomb.
Yeah, you guys do in fact step inside the cave, and you can tell immediately that there is the smell of like old ancient moss that fills this place. You're not really sure what this building was before. You're not sure if this crypt was built specifically for this, but as you start making your way through, you notice that some of the windows are barred as if this was once a place that was trying to like keep things in. There is a single skull that you notice has been carved into an old ancient door frame as you're moving your way down the hallway. It almost feels like this might have been at some point in time like a barracks or something that had been reclaimed, that had been transformed into a sort of a royal burial place. And sort of thinking about how this was a nation that has been built on violence and war, and you can imagine the very first king Yolis Ashton I, and how he very much believed himself to sort of be like the chosen one, and how they were going to, under like the belief that he is of dragon blood, they were going to go out and conquer and sort of do everything the Kothi thought that they were going to do there. You have a moment where you realize that there is something that is very cyclical about all of this, where even though this is the resting place for the grandest nobility, there is something fundamentally connected about how both the Ka and even the original High Helm long ago were indeed very much sort of on the same path. And it sort of strikes you a little bit how absolutely wildly different the vibe of this place is from the vibe that you just had when you were spending time with the Kathleen and Kiovasan and Leaf and their little abode in the middle of nowhere, and their different approach to things, and Javi's hysterical laughter, and even King Yolis Ashton. You could never see him wanting to put to rest, to entomb anyone in this place. And you're thinking about this because you realize that now that the sort of the astral pete has been defeated, you know that eventually Kiovasan's sword and armor are going to be brought down here as well and put into some crypt somewhere. And it just feels not just like a waste, but like a tradition that is somehow like eroding away at the roots to some great tree that could actually be something better and different. And as you make your way deeper and deeper into these, what you realize is not really so much a cryptid as catacombs. The light becomes more faint. For a moment, you do see movement in front of you, and you realize that it is a small mushroom creature on 2 legs, a myconid, that has rushed down the hallway in front of you and down a different passageway. You realize that you are not the only ones alone. From far, far, far beneath you, you can hear the sounds of very different murmurs of conversation. You do realize, in fact, that further, you're not only maybe the only ones living here, but you're not the only ones here.
Ooh.
And as the 6 of you take steps deeper into the temple, this is where we are going to end today's game session, because I wasn't great at planning time. I wasn't expecting you guys to fucking blow through that fight super quickly, and I think this is the best possible cliffhanger for us to end on before next week.
It's a good natural stopping point.
Mm-hmm.
We
So in summary, the things that shouldn't make it take forever are taking forever, and
Yeah.
the things that should aren't.
You guys are
Situation
very
normal, all fucked up.
Yeah, you guys are, you're sort of just taking as long as you need to go through conversational bits and do the role playing stuff, which I love, I really do. And then combat happens and things are annihilated.
Then we like to maim and murder and report every corpse or too.
As a reminder, Warren has a recap this week.
Right. Oh shit! I should have been taking pictures.
Well, you don't forget. You always have the video.
You can always do
The
it from Benji's
stream.
Twitch stream, right? So
Got
that's
it.
what I did.
Got it.
God, there's just screens that we're just like, we're never gonna see. No, I'm gonna do this one next week. But like, here's the city gates of like you guys leaving High Helm. I'm like, oh fuck, don't have time for that shit. Go.
What was the voice of the owl man?
Oh, what was his character voice that I was gonna do? I don't fucking know. I don't have anything planned until I open my mouth and it just comes out.
What's up, bro? You guys got any stuff today?
Listen, if you don't do it now, we're going outside and talking with this fucker
He's
in
gone.
about 2 weeks.
I'm assuming
time.
there's going to be some consequence of the fact that we let one of them escape, right?
No.
Erie killed it.
Killed it, man.
That was
Erie
the
killed it.
sibling. Yeah.
You guys were like, let's fucking die. You're care to make a big deal out of it because, you guys were chatting and stuff. Well, you guys were like, let's fucking dissect this core. Let's take his bones and blood. Erie fucking used the ability to kind of just like create the body double of himself, and it floated over a few feet, with the additional range, and just fucking dimensionally scrambled that thing's brains.
Yeah, no, I saw him do it. Yeah.
Yeah, just fucking took care of shit.
Look, it can't be a genocide unless it's actually a genocide.
Yeah, can't. Otherwise, it'll be a butterfly one day.
Yes, that's what a genocide means. It'll kill you, boy. Only if I die. Yes, that's what kill you. Sorry. Love everything Avengers right now. I can't stop watching reaction clips on YouTube. Alright, I'm going to stop the stream. I love you all.
Yeah.